them both times, but still, there are worries there. This is not a safe matchup, and to start off playoffs, it is filled with drama. Let's hear those gyros. So loud. Alistair has a big bassy voice, folks. Just halfway through the gyros, you just hear this very deep, obviously. I thought it was naught this for a second.
Yeah, milk though. Just Shadow will step on forward with a Nimbus strike and bonk Shun on the head briefly. BLG with the mid-game spike, and I think that makes some sense. You're running an Annie, you're running a Corki, you've got yourself big-ticket ultimates in the forms of Cyclone, Tempered Fate, Call of Forge, got all these things, which suggest a good mid-game spike. On the other side, look, you've got yourself Jarvan and Galio. We know how those combos work with the Rumble and the Kai'Sa. It's not like JDG are in a bad spot there either. Perhaps the advantage of a Kai'Sa scaling can get problematic as the game goes on. Sometimes been that X factor required, and Paze has been putting in some very exceptional Kai'Sa performances of late, even if Paze in general maybe hasn't been as consistent a carry, or at least been able to consistently win games in the way he was in winter and spring. Still a very formidable AD carry. On the bar, though, to keep our eyes on. Again, on with agency, on with ability to get lane pride and move around the map is a very different beast to an On that is feeling desperate and needing to make plays to come back into a game, or it all kind of falls away a bit. Heal burn there.
Yeah, you can see that too. Going quite well for the Corki Bard. No surprise, their level 1 is very strong. It's not the Electrocute Bard, which is even stronger at the level 1. It's going to be Spellbook, which has been more common in general for most supports. Just gives them a leg up over them in the early game, just by being Bard, though. JDG will have to soak that wave of talent. Let's have a look at these junglers. They are doing opposing paths. Bot to top from Shun, top to bot from Shadow. Shadow will be spotted on his Raptors, as will Shun. So both teams, full information where the junglers have been and where they will be.
The one, Scout will try and just punch back forwards there to get a hold of his wave with the passage, and should be able to do so with little trouble. Too much craziness here in the early game. Well, no, on the whole, it's BLG with good early lane. Prio and Scout now in a bit of danger. He's going to have to Justice Punch away. Knight not with enough cooldowns. We'll use the Molten Shield to tank up some of that turret aggro as he was trying to be very aggressive. Setting on vision there was Elk, but not threatened. So it does get that reset off.
Yeah, he'll get himself the tier on that first back, get himself cleanly back into whatever lane he wants, because we're getting to the point where, of course, the lane swap detection has fallen off. BLG going to quickly switch across the map.
Lane swap detected, shutting down servers.
Yeah, not to bring up the horse game too early, but you know there's that one, like, trainer detected.
What do you mean not too early?
Lane swap detected, later lane swap detected. Anyway, whatever, there's a gold ship meme for that. There's a gold ship meme for many things. I'm going to walk in towards Shun, who's spotted on the top side scuttle. Shadow coming up to fight this.
Shun, I think he's got to get that one up, and will do so. That means that Shadow is going to be able to pick up possibly both Scott Crabs here, and Xiaoshu's going to be in a lot of danger. Shove to get this wave in. On's going to heal, try and force that Cosmic Binding. Flash as a response is good there, but means Xiaoshu down that summoner.
JDG just about 2 waves late, actually, to this lane swap. About, well, 1 and a bit, perhaps. Xiaoshu caught trying to set up the wave correctly here in this top side for his bot lane, whereas BLG very quickly got themselves into this scenario. Now, it's not the lane swaps that we were seeing earlier this year, but still, very important to make sure you're on the right timing. Lane swaps are all about that, really. And BLG get the better of that in the early game here.
Worth noting that Pace is going to half a wave advantage from it. Does get to go back and pick up a cull as well, on which the Corki hasn't. Went for that tier early on, which is fair enough. We know how the Corki's like to build with that more in a second. There is that kind of theoretical give up a wave and a flash now for significant advantage to say 10 minutes time.
Yeah, but for me, he gives up that flash not because it's a decision. It's an oh crap, we were late.
Yeah, I need to get this wave shoved. I am in so much trouble.
That's a problem because you have to set up that wave. It kind of just sucks a little bit for them. So we have Australia lanes now, and they're switched around the map. And BLG, reminder, have had one of the best early games here in the LPL. JDG, you could argue, have had slightly better late game at points than BLG, but of course they have a bit of a terror split themselves. BLG, late game has not been their ally in split 3 of 2025. Early game, though, expect them to make explosive moves. But the questions where we have of them, though, is can they actually take those early leads and finish off a game?
Because it feels they get to these 3-4k leads very consistently. It's very dangerous. On force the flash there. Jaw goes up pulverizing forward with Shun around. Could have been a dead bard, but the flash swift enough there from the support to get out of trouble. The issue is the trouble starts maybe 10 minutes from now, often for BLG. They kind of, the moment plates begin to fall, there's a kind of window of time where the expected BLG Giga throw is almost a guarantee, it feels like, at this point.
Just as soon as Atakan spawns, something goes wrong with the brain chemistry of BLG. Something just switches in their heads and they think, right, let's change the script a little. FaZe has got himself a cult, so he'll be scaling up to try and get himself relevant into the game as well. And FaZe, I think earlier into the year, FaZe was on my shortlist for MVP. It was so important for the way that JDG were playing. I don't think he's matched that in this split. Now, he has had a couple of great games recently, though. You think about the play-in series which they had to get here. Really did dominate LGD. FaZe was a big part of that. Shun going to the spot side, been taking a lot of damage here, but still has flash and all.
Shadow behind him, Jaw coming up. There's the equalizer around. Shadow no level 6. Flash from Finn. Has a call of the forward, so I don't know how much time it will buy. Decent body blocking from Shadow, actually. Means no Electro Harpoon's got to come on through.
I wonder if there'd be a flash follow. No. That's two of them available there from Jaw. Shun, neither of them pulling the trigger. Finn had that ultimate to turn around if things got a little bit too spicy. Shadow on the verge of level 6. I suppose could have pulled a Cyclone to disengage should there have been a mistake from JDG. So BLG will quickly walk away from that play. Finn down a summoner. That's the extent of it.
All is pretty much dead even right now. Early dragon to BLG, worth noting. Shadow did manage to pick that one up when Shun turned up topside, but that's the only discrepancy right now. His flashes have been blown here or there, but no one's died.
Something with these wave states has been a big part of this early game. Well, it's not led to a CS lead for Elk, and that's a little worrying because the Corkies only get picked for that. So then scale up into your 2-item spike and be ahead of the enemy AD carry. If FaZe comes into this mid game even, I get worried for BLG, you know? I do get worried for them. Both teams have heavy engage. I would argue JDG's engage is a little better into the team comp of BLG than BLG is into JDG, because FaZe, of course, can disengage with his ultimate, with that cleanse as well.
Yeah.
Elk can't cleanse away the Jarvan, and you can't exactly cleanse away a lot of the other engage too, like the Alistar. And there's a lot of damage to follow up. So, what that means is that if FaZe is getting ahead, or even into the mid game, and he has a better time against the enemy team comp, BLG are going to have to keep heads up about that.
Hull cashing in at about 50 CS as well, which gets a bit interesting to track. Grub being started by JDG, but it's leaving Xiaoxu out potentially to dry as the Infernal Rupture comes on forwards, and Xiaoxu will go on down. Infernal, by the matter of the fact that Xiaoxu is going straight to hell there, volcanic names will have to be left for when I'm a bit more awake.
Yeah, Xiaoxu had no flash, goes down easily. 3 grubs to the side of JDG, which means that they will have better cross-map potential later on now. BLG, do they get any time to sit around bot lane? No, not really. So they don't get any plates off it. So it's just a kill for 3 grubs, and I think JDG aren't unhappy with that.
I think so. BLG obviously not really feeling like they were in position there to fight that one with some very scary ultimates. Ramble said they would get some gold where they can find it. This comp, not the best abusers of grubs ever. You can rumble, shovels, things. You're not running into a Yorick or a Yone or something like that who are real grub abusers.
Yeah, typically when I think of grubs and the best users of it, I think of things like Gnar, Yone, LeBlanc used to be up there too, but of course we haven't seen LeBlanc in a long time now. And that's in terms of an individual level. JDG still, however, have Galio and they have Kai'Sa flying into a side lane. So now if you cross map and you dive under a turret, you kill someone, hang on a second, let's get charging towards mid lane, we'll get out without having to use his ult just on lockdown. But yeah, when it comes to those globals, that's where I think JDG will get good use out of their grubs.
It'll be eyes have to track. Are the globals being used to pressure side lanes? Do they lead to turret plates or just turrets in general? All these things and more decided. I needed a TV news station and I didn't have one to hand. So I can only apologise for that one, guys. Fill in your own of choice.
Dude, I don't watch TV anymore.
No,
I don't either. You know, as soon as I, moved abroad and stuff, I thought, well, I'll just watch stuff online instead. Makes it much easier. On popping that Ghost from the Spellbook. Did see a good trade from Elk earlier. It wasn't as good as it could have been. So it's some fancy steps away from ult shots from Elk. And there's another one there, actually. By Pays. Elk not getting the best accuracy on them. JDG, falling a little bit behind in terms of immediate gold value, but I don't think they're unhappy with the way this game is going. There's a slight lead towards the Annie and a slight lead towards the Bin, of course. The Bin. That's what happens when you get like the Vegeta Goku fusion of the Shy and Bin. The Bin. That's just the Shy with anyone, actually. It makes it very, very easy for the whole fusion dance. But yeah, the Bin. There you go. Slightly further ahead because of that kill. Who do you think would be the most dangerous Dragon Ball Z fusion out of LPL players?
It's
for me, obviously, I think it'd be the Rookie and the Shy.
Yeah, that would be, yeah.
They were destined for this already, Sam.
Yeah, the Rookie. Shy Rookie.
Yeah, he actually just becomes an ODST from Halo 3 ODST, the Rookie. Yeah, you just become the main character of that. Everyone else is playing a MOBA, you're playing an FPS.
Why is Asphalt and Absolution playing in the background? Where have these smooth jazz vibes come from?
No, not the saxophone! Oh, gosh. Dragon has spawned. Perhaps our first big fight of the game. Of course, the Grubs were not actually fought over. See that, BLG? Did you have any off vision? Ornn moving down in towards mid lane to push out the next wave and then potentially ult through that bot river. Xiaoshu recalling to get himself close towards that first item and then teleport down. Both teams look like they really want this. Both teams will have full awareness that both teams are coming in strength to this Dragon.
Being in, Dragon down. 5% of HP, watch Scout on the flank, one Joe going in on a double pulverize with the flash, decent turnaround, the Temper Fate buys time, over the wall goes Knight, and turns around on the Scout, Cataclysm from Shun, they've lost Jungler in the form of Shadow, who's already dead. Backside though goes Bin, is on, tries to find the time with the Magical Journey, will not find anyway as Pays survives the attempt on his life, and Bin now caught up in the middle of nowhere. Knight caught by the flag and the drag goes back through the Magical Journey, but to what end? Gets a combo off, but it's a triple kill to Xiaoshu's Rumble.
Draw and Scout start the fight so incredibly well for JDG, and this was our worry. Elk even getting mashed in the mid lane. And Xiaoshu takes his 4th kill of the fight, a delayed quadra kill for the Rumble. JDG, awesome start, and that will net them 4 kills for how many kills on the other side? Just the 1 or 2 at best.
Just the 1.
JDG will take the Dragon off of this too. And BLG, we said they had the better early games. Perhaps not even that's the case here. JDG, I was worried that BLG chose this team. They have had a good matchup into BLG this whole year. And here we'll see a replay of the fight. Flash double knockup from Draw, a player who's had a difficult year. Been bounced around a couple of rosters, and Pays follows up. The follow-up from JDG in position so much earlier than BLG. Both teams have ample engage. JDG just end up pulling the trigger first. And when you're playing around a low-health Kai'Sa here, at least you have a bit more of that turnaround with your E. And Elk, it just felt as soon as he was engaged onto you, had nothing else to say. And sadly, then Knight overstays trying to save Bin, gives up his life as well.
Good flash from Shun to extend the flag and drag. Xiaoshu's able to finish that one up. How is Elta? He's just trying to get this wave shot, and Xiaoshu goes, yeah, you can't do that.
Doesn't realize that Xiaoshu has flash potentially. The entries comes through. Easy burn kill. So 5 kills now to 2 in the favor of JDG. They have the gold advantage. Now BLG have to play from a losing early game. That's not what we expected coming into this series. But JDG, despite themselves having a poor split, you cannot argue that they didn't have a poor split. In with a really good sucker punch here in the early game.
We didn't have force split though. Xiaoshu was by far the rock that this team needed. And 4-1 now on a Rumble. Yeah, that one gets scary.
I am so surprised that Xiaoshu didn't get an all-pro of at least 3rd. I do think that Shy 369 could have got something more of that Shun. Oh, hang on, he's got a little bit far now. He doesn't have flash.
Cataclysm from Shun, who knows the flag and drag out, does a decent job on, has to back away the equalizer, burns the bar down about 10% HP. Pays now around, Shadow going on forward, trying to nap away that red buff, fails to do so as it resets. Bin now in danger with the headbutt and the pulverize, getting burned down, called forward God summons. BLG back away, no one dies, but that's a lot of flashes and health bars down.
Very worrying there from Shadow, and then later Bin. They missed that knock-up on the wall, actually. I did wonder whether JDG could turn her. Once again, though, Xiaoshu. Monster equalizer in the fight. 1,000 gold lead already so early into the game, and JDG, you can see that they're dealing very well now with BLG and their aggressive engages. I'm getting quite worried now for BLG. Last couple of fights we've seen JDG pull the trigger first, and then when BLG pull the trigger, they don't exactly have a follow-up to actually win the fight. What happens now if the Corki and the Annie are not in prime follow-up positions? Quite large problems following up in the distances they need to onto something like an Ornalt as well. BLG need to start tightening things up, or this is going to get from bad to worse very quickly.
Cold cashed in now from Paige as well, so that gold lead has just expanded there to about 600, 1,000 gold lead towards Xiaoshu's Rumble. Shun as well, very well involved. In fact, he and the Rumble are both 100% KP, feeling very happy with this game.
Reminder, JDG, they have the objective advantage too. It's a dragon apiece, but the 3 grubs will really help JDG at points. Now, the next time that BLG look to cross map, JDG will have an extra sting in that tower taking potential too. What do we have coming up next? We have, hang on a second, might have a play in the spot side. Just off a vision.
Yeah, I think he's just about to get interrupted. The killer instinct is just shy because the W missed. He's still going to die. I think he probably is. Just not going to go towards the Kaiser head, but pulverize, and the flag brings down eventually on Shadow. Now potentially in danger himself. They're going to Hero's entrance for that.
Double ulti is spot by JDG. Now that might be a little bit too far, but a quick kill onto On, who thought perhaps he was safe because he has Flash, he has the magical journey, sees just the lone Alistair and thinks that's fine, does not see the Jarvan behind him. Betrayed in the mid lane here, but he does have a bit of turnaround.
Then flashing for some damage there. Stun from Knight, courtesy of the TP behind the Xiaoshu, is humbled by a solid TP in from BLG.
Okay, public enemy number 1 taken down by BLG. They'll take down that Jarvan. Shun almost threatening Elk there, but he'll back off a little further. He'll now go back into his own jungle. This is, no, weirdly, you know, the teleport into the other solo laner's lane. This is what Scout did. Actually, he innovated this in the LPL, but you take one solo lane, teleport, put it into the other solo laner's lane, use it to get a kill, push that tower. Scout was doing this in 2023 against JDG in summer. That was his macro innovation. Knight uses it against his team now. Sky, of course, he has that 3 grubs. First turret, I believe, went to the site. Did it go to JDG?
It went to BLG, but it didn't matter because JDG with the Herald have already managed to pick up some Versace's and wearing some lovely heals right now.
I did wonder. I thought, hang on a second. I thought BLG got that one, but the 3 goes from JDG will allow them to equalize that tower trade nice and easily for them.
Dragon spawning shortly for the second dragon for either team. Still a decent gold lead here to JDG, but it is nice to see the BLG still got a bit of fire to them. Then managing to shorten the distance between him and the Rumble with that kill that he picked up there alongside that turret.
I do wonder whether that kill should have gone to the Annie though, because I look at BLG's team composition and I just think that they might run out of damage if the Corki gets blown up, and there is definitely a world in which the Corki gets blown up. Having the Annie with a bit more golden pocket could have really helped. It is in the hands of the Ornn though. Will be better at frontlining for now. W poke coming through from Pace, but it's not the upgraded W. Dragon started, and JDG, they're looking to cross map. They have the 3 grubs. They won't take this dragon fight, instead giving more gold over towards that Rumble in the top lane.
And again, that mid lane turret is nearly dead, courtesy of Pace shoving as well, so they'd rather get this wave shoved in. Help that turret go down top side. Just play this a little slower. It's not like BLG are in the best spot right now. Can they interrupt it? No, they can't. Joe tries to look for the flag in the dragon, but the TP out now means actually Shadow's in danger on his own Raptors. Redemption comes on down. Flash out from Shadow, stays alive. Tibbers is there whacking people in the backside, and everyone does stay alive. Teleport interrupt not successful. That means the top lane turret stand.
JDG, they see the teleport animation coming up on top lane and think, okay, we can look for a fight. They didn't exactly know where Bin was, but they knew enough to start things off. And while they don't get kills, they will get themselves access to that mid lane turret. So that's 2 of the outer ring now down. And the top lane, it didn't fall in that plate, but it did get very, very low. So Xiaoshu, no immediate gold value for him. BLG, I think, somewhat escaping that play. I thought that should have gone a lot worse for them. Managed to escape without losing too much comparatively. EDG, what do we talk about next from them? Well, I suppose the fact that, you know, Shun was the one calling that charge against them. Always an emotive moment, I suppose, for BLG to play against their old jungler. And of course, Shadow coming in, not just directly replacing Shun, but replacing the replacement of the replacement, because Shun was replaced by Wei, was replaced by Beitron, and then Shadow. BLG have had a revolving door of junglers. And I think that on an individual level, you know, Shadow started out this split very, very strong for BLG. Now, I think that his individual level has suffered as the split has gone on. Do I think he is the primary problem with the BLG? Well, there's a lot of primary problems with BLG. I don't necessarily think it's right to completely criticize him, but more just the nature of changing a jungler in a pro team comes with risks. BLG have now done that a lot of times this year. The synergy as a squad that BLG used to be so prized for across the world isn't really there in the same level that it was before. While I think that BLG could potentially work their way up to that level again, they need some extra time to do so. After calm spawn, BLG not in position to contest.
Got a 2-item Kai'Sa who is shredding through this real fast. I'm not seeing smites around quite yet. On is here, has got Spellbook, no spite on it. Jaw trying to body block. Tempered Fate is not going to be quite enough. I think Smite secures it. Call for's gone to Jaw, who's probably going to die as a result of the body blocking. But who else is going to die? It's Elcon the Corky. Why are you there?
That is the question everyone has to ask. Shun will jump forwards. Finn has flash, might be able to escape with it.
Gonna try and find the angle for the flash head, but pulverized. Finn gets through the magical journey, but the rest of his team not in a great spot. Does escape. Bad from BLG in terms of the retreat. The problem is they've still lost a member, they've still lost Anagon, they'll still lose their rep buff, and they're still looking at a 3.5k disadvantage.
Reminder, JDG has a good matchup versus BLG, and BLG chose JDG. They could have chosen Weibo instead. Perhaps they will be thinking about that again as we go into this replay. BLG, I mean, Elk, my dude, there's a teleport coming next to you, trying to steal the Atakan. And we did say BLG, if they lose the Corki, they're in just such big trouble. Elk gives himself up in a silver platter. That is nigh unacceptable. The Corki out in no man's land, no support nearby. You must be playing behind your front line. That is anything but that.
I get looking for the steal, but what are the chances of that versus you dying? And he's free kill. Who did the kill go to? I didn't actually quite see. I think it was Shun in the end. So exactly like this is going to be the easy game state anymore from BLG. But it was before, bluntly. But hey, such is life. 3 minutes till Baron, so that might be our next moment to try and play. And he clearing out that way. Bot side, kind of left with a moment or two to stall.
Just as we were talking about it before then, the question about BLG, yes, you can talk about individual members. I think individual form for everyone, even Knight, despite him being the best player on the team. Well, Knight was all pro first mid. Yeah. He was the guy who was least criticizable. That's a word, I suppose.
Yeah, it is.
Least easy to criticize is Knight on this roster, but still, BLG as individuals, they have suffered. But realistically, the question is about actually, you've changed out a core piece of your roster. The whole team synergy has struggled, and their macro has with it. Now, JDG, I think you could argue there were points about this split as well. But BLG, really the question is, can they find themselves that magical bond between the members they can with a new member coming into the roster? It's not necessarily a fault of Shadow, it's just a fault of changing a jungler. The hardest role to change in competitive play multiple times throughout a split. BLG, they don't have much time to sort this kind of stuff out. They were out macro there around the Atakan. JDG now significantly further ahead, but the team comp, I would argue, does better into the late game as well with the nature of the Kai'Sa versus the Corki.
2 seconds on Dragon spawning. Jaw on the flank angle will be spotted up by that ward going on down. Both Clone and Real Wukong. BLG having to force their way into the river here. Scout on the flank angle is going to be spotted out. Yeah,
they'll see him nice and cleanly there. JDG do have a fairly tanky Galio to play around. It's quite hard to shut him down on the flank at this point. JDG holding the objective right now. Redemption used to spot out the people in the brush.
So then we force back off that BLG. Have managed to get into the river at least. Shun looking for potential angle over the wall. Call of the Forge God. Forces a slight retreat. Jaw. Low. Oh! Blasted before he could press ultimate. He was caught in the middle of the air. 3,000 HP on the Dragon. Shun at the back of the pit. Going to going out. And BLG will earn himself a soul point.
The arm wrestle goes the way of BLG this time. Is Pace going to be able to escape? Yes. Yes, he is. BLG managed to find themselves a good fight despite the fact that multiple flanks were opened up by JDG. They didn't have the vision control to really capitalize them on the way that you would like to. BLG, they can walk in towards that mid lane. There is still an equalizer to wave clear if worst comes to worst. With Xiaoshu teleporting in, that would have been a possibility. So BLG will just get the kill and the Dragon and out. It could have been worse, but for JDG, I suppose, with that in mind. But it is still soul point to the side of BLG. And a reminder that despite our worries about BLG, they still did finish 3rd in our league. And the difference between top 4 and the rest of the league was pretty significant, really, across the LPL. BLG, we can criticize them an awful lot, but that was a much better fight for them. And JDG are still coming in as the lower seed here.
Raw goes over the wall, headbutt pulverized on just about magical journey away. Good possibly finding out from his knight is in so much danger. Has to flash away. Survives. Equalizer. Redemption is not enough. Scout surviving on the front as the shielded round comes on down. And Shadow also falls. Jungle mid down. Baron is up, and JDG will surely be looking at it.
And they have to, right? There's a teleport in from Scout to make sure that mid lane is pushed. Do they go towards the Baron afterwards? Surely you have to. With 30 seconds on the death times, you have a 2.5 item Kai'Sa gunning it down, and Liamfrey's and a Bloodletters as well. That will be an uncontested Baron. JDG lose the dragon fight quite handily, but BLG mess up in the macro afterwards, and JDG punish heavily. What happens here? So On is on one side of the map with Knight. Knight trying to defend this top lane turret, and Xiaoshu is so strong, it doesn't matter. Xiaoshu really been the hero of the game for JDG yet again. Very good accuracy at the first part of that play with the harpoons. And Shadow goes in, trying to bail out a play which is already lost. Now, I think it's bad enough losing your mid lane. Losing the jungle afterwards loses you the Baron. That is the killer moment.
Kana Baron now down to significant petal advantage. George does go forwards here. He's in a 1v3 and seems not to care. Of course, doesn't have a Kai'Sa in the back pocket. Smite burn. Scout now going beyond the turret to threaten and gets a taunt onto On. That'll be a dead Bard. Nowhere to go. No magical journey allowed to be put down.
The switch switched to off. JDG, good picks in the side lane. BLG, they have been really struggling to make things work through side lanes. The entire split. Knight dying there was so important for JDG, and they're starting to roll across. Flag drag, dunk under the turret.
Cataclysm down, gonna buy a lot of damages. The spicy hot pot is spicy indeed. Killer instinct. And the Acathian Rain secures another 3, and I think BLG might just have lost the game.
Where has JDG been this entire split? This has been clean engages, great follow-up, and JDG have roared to life here in the first game of playoffs.
Exceptional stuff. It's been clean, it's been calculated. Bit of the cost of Soul Point, but not Soul. And Elk is once again looking like game for the menu for the Hunters of Jing Dong Gaming, who strike first in this series of Billy Gaming. They chose this team and might be regretting it by the time the series is out. Out of the depths. Locked in. Rift on Scream. Gyos to come for Beichuan's re-debut. Put down.
Geos.
I want to say Jayo. I think I probably just mispronounced it, is the honest answer.
Probably.
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 You're probably.
Probably.
Let's talk about the
English.
Let's talk about the pronunciation in the English language.
Through thorough thou bow.
Elkanon. We'll see what they do at level 1 here, because despite the fact that it is a Nautilus into the Brawl, Misfortune is so lane dominant. She can often win you lanes by herself. Now the thing is, ricochets give you instant wave push. So go towards that Q at level 1. Create some decent damage back there. On is starting that hook. Sometimes you will see the start of the W, just to get that extra shield against some tougher lanes. Not to be the case here, though. Ricochet will come here from Pays. Bad counter-strike there, actually. Gets to level 2 as well, and Bin, using the early shove, will have an empowered Q to trade back on. Gets to level 2 now. Can actually lead him to the empowered W now instead. Gets that empowered Q instead. Goes up a little. Loses the wave push. What's happening in the jungle once again? Change about the place. Heal. And the Brawn passive onto the Misfortune. Hook missing.
Yeah.
JDG getting a decent trade there now, actually. Pushing in. I did say that Civic can kind of just win you a lane by herself. And Elkanon will get themselves the first shove in of the game. Beichuan spotted on Raptors. I believe Shun is on the other side. Actually, I'm pretty sure there's a ward down there. Sam punches the microphone again for reasons beyond me. Wait, rage.
Just anger at the early trades into misfortune. How dare you get smacked in the face like that, Elf? That's the best I've got for you.
Me here covering for Sam in the early games. He's got something to look at. Comes back, punches the bike. What a... Wave push coming in for Scout in the mid lane as well. The Aurora will shotgun the wave. Yet to see any really aggressive plays around the map. We are going to get the early swaps in again. BLG really committed to doing this time. JDG, this time they're on the right wave time. Last game we said, look, JDG, they were a wave late to this. JDG on the right timing this time, and neither lane going to be out of sorts.
Fortunately for Shun, loses the early scuttle trade. Sometimes what you do then as the Kindred is you kind of wait 30 seconds or so and try and let the mark spawn on the other scuttle crab, because it will move quite swiftly. Doesn't do that this time. Decides, look, I want to get back on the map, get those double longswords and start playing.
EDG, really wondering what they're going to do actually with this Braum position now. It does feel like, again, the matchup works quite well for him into that Nautilus. I was wondering whether the Misfortune would get the early lane dominance, but it hasn't really been the case, and it does make you wonder now, with 10 CS behind, what Elk is going to do with this pick. There's a lot of mobility to be wary of for this Misfortune as the game goes on, either them engaging onto you, something else. Shouldn't have to mark onto the Nautilus. Let's get onto Bin, flash away.
Has to flash out of that counter, or he would have been dead. May well still be dead regardless. Shin's going to put that wall down over the wall. Still got the Q available. Mounting Dread begins to stack. Got the press the attack down as well as to be a little bit aware of the Q. But no culling of the meat will occur, and Shun helps Xiaoshu pick up a kill. It wasn't a mark, unfortunately, for Shun, but the kill nonetheless is still good news.
And it's a kill over to the Jax in the Renekton matchup. Bin, so famous at Renekton, one of the best Renekton players of the modern era. He's done a great many things on this pick, before and after. Of course, BLG became the real super team when Knights joined the roster. This Renekton really wanted to keep the Jax down. Now the Jax is actually ahead. That is a big problem. There's a cull on the Renekton, wants to get up to more gold more quickly. JDG though, the Jax now at a point of power. That is a worry for BLG. Remember, he is a lot of the engaging force for JDG later into the game. If he does that from ahead, that's going to be problems here for BLG.
Holes in for Pays as well. Worth noting, did that the last game as well, and early on Elf was suffering quite a lot. We were worried that maybe the Braum wouldn't be that great in the lane, but the Nautilus lock-in has kind of just been a good time for the Sivir, bluntly. Shouldn't have lose a fair number of his Raptors, but picks up enough here to feel happy and ish about the unfortunate trade. Now Jaw coming on over, Orlando wins despite the bottle rocket comes on up. Scout goes across the veil in between worlds. Now Beige had a lot of data, has to flash away. That frozen domain down, stun onto On, who has to flash as well. Just about survives the damage.
Yeah, no mark there for Shun again this time. Did have that mark onto the Nautilus, as we were saying before, and BLG. We've praised their early game quite a lot. Remember, of course, Beitran is now in. Perhaps that changes things. A death for Bin on the side lane. Flash is now blown on and Beitran. JDG, not a bad early entrance into this game against a composition which, you have a very good early game. Nautilus, Renekton, Trundle, they should be able to combo up onto you quite well, actually. Beitran is ahead in farm compared to Shun, but Shun, of course, has that assist, which helps him out a little bit more. Dragon is alive. BLG, this is a dangerous, a risky swap mid-series. Beitran seeing play for the first time since MSI, pretty much. I can't even remember if he ended up playing his first series back with BLG. Might have played one series at the start of the split. It's been a month plus since we've seen Beitran on the roster, and when he left, it was with him on very poor form. JDG forcing the swap out of BLG, you have to say, is not a good sign for BLG. If BLG don't have their good early game with Beitran coming in, you wonder why they did it in the first place. It does not scream confidence for BLG.
Best numbers there for JDG's bot side. Worth noting for BLG, first time this split, the Knight on the rise. For Beitran on the Trundle. What that will include. Yes, of course, because Shadow definitely did play Trundle. It is just for Beitran on Trundle, but he's not played that many games. First time for Elk on the Misfortune, which was normally a significant pick for him. So those numbers pop up on the bottom of the screen. So, I've played them this year, I have no doubt. We've seen them. Nonetheless, Xiaoshu, we know right now on the Jax, has been a win condition in general across his career.
I was wondering what those stats were just for Blast, but no, it is for Summer. So yeah, we haven't actually seen. That's quite surprising to me because Knight is a big player of the Rise. Saw it a lot earlier in the year. I guess he just dropped off of it. It's also, you know, he is a big player of it. Drops now spawning, BLG, so they spoil for a fight around this. Playing around the early game Braum feels a bit bad. And especially now with half HP on your Misfortune. I don't actually know whether you can go for this. They'll have to give it up, I think.
Yeah, very unlikely going to fight that properly and giving Jack scrubs. Yeah, that's going to suck. Rise is around. Might want to try and catch someone on the retreat. Trundle also coming on over. JDG want all three, or they're going to be happy with two. Sometimes it's possible to overstay for the third.
BLG on contesting, so will be a free third. So that question. Defensive.
There you go.
It's going to be all three for JDG. Shun going to get this one. How many marks has he got? He doesn't actually have a single mark right now, by the way. Hasn't got any even off of the Scuttle Crabs, it's worth noting. Often a game with Kindred is about a little bit of that stack hunting. Gives you the extra range, of course, on the 4th, the 7th, 10th, so it's every third after the first 4 break points. But it also gives you a lot of stats from your basic abilities too. Attack speed on your Q, percent HP damage on your W, and then the execute damage on your E. Every individual stack gives you extra damage. Shun looks like he's going towards the Kraken Slayer first build, if you like to go towards it. Don't mind it in this one, actually. There's no one who's like a heavy tank on the other side. The Trundle can be if you have a tank yourself, he steals those stats. In this game, I actually think the Kraken Slayer into something like a Trinity Force makes a lot of difference here.
Yeah, it does feel really good if you can do that. And then into something like an LDR, you feel pretty happy. Good dueling, good HP, good move speed. The attack on hit feels very good. The fight occurring. Rune Prison coming down, but On has gone forwards into Braum and dies. There's the Mark. And Mark is also just spawned in the river, so Shun plays it slow and steady and wins this race.
Yeah, it turns out Kindred Marks like buses. You don't know where they are, and then two come along at once. Shun will get himself halfway towards his first range increase. I'm just saying, it's quite apt, isn't it? Shun ahead in the game now. 500 gold over Baitron is On, caught out. I don't think it's quite telling that Shun marked On for all of this early game, saying, look, I know you. I've jungled with you for years, On. You're gonna give me a kill at some point. Gets that first mark, quick one off of that, drops again. Xiaoxu is alone on this other side. You know how much they can make stick here, though.
Throws down the Grandmaster's Might, frozen domain, hops away, just gets out, ends up being a little bit of base one's time wasted. On's also around, and Xiaoxu sticking here can end up being a bit problematic.
Question, chat. Where's the person with long hair? Hello, I'm here. Got to fight in the spot side. Fighting into it. This is a problem.
Hayes potentially in danger with the blast cone coming on down. Make it rain comes on down, but the Braum passive is ridiculous. Flash over the wall from Pace. It's good. Shun gets the kill. Xiaoxu gets the counter strike angle as well, and they keep dancing with the arrows, and they keep going into people's. That's the Colmeek. Just white to Bing can't get the heal. We'll try and get the double up. Winter's by Lance hopping for more. Make it rain. Shun with the Lance respite, and Elcast to flash out as the Braum passive was stacking, and JDG just destroy the skirmish.
Panic from BLG as JDG pull ahead in the early game again. Where has this JDG been the entire split? Well, they're here right now, and that's what really matters. Perhaps we can forget about their regular season. If the playoffs go so much better for them. Shun 202 gets himself another mark. There is a teleport coming through, but I think the smite will come through. That might be a dead Kindred, though, as Bin finds him.
Does indeed. Shun gets decent amount of damage. Does have a red buff, but will surely go down here. Buys a bit of time. Is still dead. Gets Dragon and a kill, will give his life up for it, and that kind of sucks, but you do what you have to here.
EDG, they're very happy with this early game. Very, very happy with it. Playing into the Braum is a real pain. We thought, later into the game, the lack of engage might be a problem for JDG, particularly once you get the bullet time. Really threatening the clumped up members. There is no bullet time for this fight. Elf used it, I suppose, at an earlier point. And Xiaoxu gets to be that slap-back engage of that counter-strike. Xiaoxu so important to JDG in this split, and so important to them in this fight. I think a lot of people, especially with Arla getting subbed out, Xiaoxu coming in, they'd be thinking, well, how good is this guy? Xiaoxu has been good for a number of years, folks. And he has been, by far, JDG's best member in this split. I think it was very hard done by to not be an all-pro at all from MVP for this split. But honestly, I don't think he gives a damn if he can pull out performances like this and carry his team through some playoffs to games.
Completely agreed. In the picture-in-picture, we just see On forced out from under turret. A little bit more for pace in that mid lane, and looking at this early game advantage again for JDG. 2 games in a row into a team, I think, as well for JDG. I think just scales better, frankly. You've got a Kindred who is an infinite scaler, an AD carry. hyper carry in the jungle in some regards. You've got yourself a Sivir, notoriously dangerous at 3 items. You've got a Jax with 3 grubs. Again, a win condition as the game goes on. It's not looking easy, and BLG, your engage tools this game involve going into a brawl. It is not easy to get a pick onto someone and have it stick without a Lampress Pipe, without a Glacial Fissure, without a Brawn passive making your life hell.
Which is why you think, you know, Trundle Pillar and the Misfortune ult would at least be able to split the enemy team into a point where you could find better fights. You do have the ability to, you know, point and click someone down quite easily, but point and clicking someone down when they have, you know, Counter-Strike fences on the Jax, that gets a little bit more difficult. JDG just look more synergized in this first couple of games. Knight now potentially getting dove on this top side. On is working his way up towards it. Knight does have a Realm Warp if he spots the danger coming soon enough. Trying to push out the wave here.
Counter-Strike stun, traded with the Prison. Needs to try and get out here with the Realm Warp and will do so. Glacial Fissure was traded. Can't quite find the interrupt, though I appreciate the idea. Gonna bring double AD carries with 3 grubs though towards this turret, and that means this is surely dead.
First turret will be going over towards JDG, and that will be the feats of strength with it. JDG, good push up there. Baytron looking up towards Pays, who stands and delivers. No contest coming back. I'm really worried about the value that this Misfortune is going to have. You know, Elk, 10 CS down in the laning phase. No big ultimate so far. I was quite critical of Elk's Misfortune after, you know, the first couple of bits of this year as well. I know early on in the year he was so lane dominant, it made the difference really, but I think as we've gotten later into the year, I think Elk has gotten less and less value with the Misfortune. And I'm worried that now he's not had a good ultimate this game, he's not had a good laning phase. And then you pair that up with actually, well, Baytron and On haven't had a great early game either. BLG, things do not seem to be working out with the plan that they had in mind.
No turret plates, by the way, for BLG. None at all. Kinda struggles. General there. 2,000 gold lead, feats of strength, and the gold's all in some very scary members, namely the double AD carries are ahead. The Jax is near enough even with the Renekton in the early game, despite the Cull cash in. Yeah, this one kind of sucks.
And being even as a Renekton with a Jax at this point, it's just not what you pick the matchup for. It's not what you pick the Renekton for. It's not what you pick the Misfortune for. And, you know, we're viewing that from the BLG perspective. From the JDG one, they feel much happier to take fights now.
He needs to hook away and will do so. Line to safety. Pellerin sees from the job, but still going to stand behind me. Going to put up the door. TP coming on in. Depth charge is spell shielded. TP coming on forwards, and they do blow up the Braum at the very least.
That's not bad. Takes a flash and an ultimate from On. Scout getting rooted up. Does this open up the Herald towards BLG? I think JDG might still be able to fight if he really wanted to, you know. There is a bull at times. They might just say, look, we're a member down. Let's call it quits. Let's not try our luck.
Yeah, a little bit much. TPs came flying, and unfortunate for Joe, even with the flash, didn't get a chance to use it. Got blown up.
It was a good pill up from Baytron to kind of lock him into the fight. There wasn't any way he was getting out the sides, fighting his way through it. It was a fight which he lost. So BLG get themselves a quick pick. Does cost that flash from the Nautilus, as we said, though, which could be an issue. Knight now on this top side of the map, out of vision right now, could potentially go for this again, doubling up at the side lanes. This is the thing which Scout used to do, as we called out in that game 1. Walk up here, no demolish to use on the tower, no grubs either. But they will force Xiaoshu off of the tower, traded for the dragon on the other side.
Lucky Crab with mark number 4 was also bot side, so Shun honestly relatively happy to trade that. You'll get yourself second dragon, you'll get yourself that all-important 4th mark, which gets you that initial range increase. You are into a team that can punish you if you're a little bit too close range in the form of BLG. Well, looking at Rise, looking at Trundle, Renekton, all these people who do love you to be in their active range.
Ooh, Herald, and the Triforce Trundle on this top turret. 3 versus 1, now 2 a draw coming up. Using the Herald as a bit of a battle Herald.
Xiaoshu now potentially in danger. Grandmaster might pin, gets stunned up with the Winter's Bite and the concussive blow passive, but they get the kill on the turret, and now Shun potentially in danger with this Realm Walk. BLG continue to hunt for more as Baytron goes driving forward with their Battle Herald. So now they're between worlds, and it's looking really dangerous. The redemption fight for that bullet time. Solid, but the door stops it. Scout looking for some more, gets a 2-fold help. Elk needs to flash away with the barrier down. Got damage onto Knight, who's surviving. Hook back, Lampress Bite buys time. Everyone is king alone. Bitch waiting for the Q, goes down. Double kill for both mid laners. Baytron on the backside tries to box them all, can't. As Scout goes across the Veil. Elk needs to get the passive up and rolling. Can Scout find more? Not quite getting range for Elk, who I think will be able to slide out to safety.
BLG, I think they thought that was the game-winning play. Instead, it turns around onto them. Gold back to even. BLG started things off well with the turret push and what looked to be a good realm up to force JDG out of position. But JDG come back with, what, an extra 3 kills was that? All things said and done. This is the realm up after the play. See that, you know, you have the point and click through. Dominus already running from Bin, so he has a lot of rage. The shotgun hits onto 2. There's actually a redemption for actually a good amount of damage there too. Even a choke point versus the raw ultimate. Elk, the ultimate is okay, and he also puts himself out of position too, which means he has to flash out. That is not a good retreat-buying ultimate. Lamb's just fight makes this into a real knife fight. I think Bin makes a huge mistake here. He goes for an empowered W instead of the empowered Q onto 3 or 4 people, and he dies before he can get himself to Q3. I do just wonder whether he should have gone for the bigger heal onto multiple members to see if he can make it out alive and just forego that bigger burst damage of that W. I wonder whether that's a big mistake he'll rue later on in review.
Becomes an extended 3-for-3 if you include Xiaoshu's death under that turret. Of course, BLG did get 2 turrets there, which is nice. The problem is they also just burned every flash available to them. And with 3 minutes until that dragon could get a little interesting. I think they might be just about up in time. But it will be a close one, especially if they're looking to contest. And the gold totals right now. And it is very happily pays for JDG, who is the gold leader in this game.
I'm just so happy to see JDG back on good form. We haven't seen JDG on good form for the entirety of this split. Remember that, hang on a second, it's a good catch on to Scout, just as we say, oh my god.
Boy, redemption! It's not enough, but now on contention, JDG behind, Glacier Fish comes across and pays over the wall with the blast go, trying to get some more damage, should be able to get the hold of the Nautilus Jaw, trying to buy time, the bullet time! One shot, 2 more members go down!
I'm so glad to see JDG on such good form.
That's incredible timing.
Just as I said, that's one of the better ones I've done for a little while. 3 kills. For the what is JDG getting belted?
Did Base flash into the red bucket?
Sam, I'm not gonna lie, I was too busy being I'm too busy doubled over in laughter to see what happened. Alright, we'll do a post-mortem. Scout ended up going way too far into the enemy jungle, point and click into the hook makes it very, very hard for him to play out, and he dies very, very quickly. What the hell happened? Oh, sweet Jesus, the blast cone is just mortifying. It's just mortifying. I can't believe it. That's top draw, folks. That is, I can't believe it.
And that bullet time was a lot better from Elk, but let's be real, Paige was like, why have you betrayed me this way, my jungler? There could be only one AD carry.
Oh, that is, okay, Atakan. All right, JDG, they're ahead of the game. Well, they were ahead of the game. They weren't ahead anymore, and it's time for a good old flip. It's of the burger variety. Play with Atakan on it. Is everyone here? No, mid lane is not quite in the play just yet. Atakan getting lower. Xiaoshu does have flash. That counter-strike could be deadly.
Xiaoshu looking for a potential angle. Does get stunned up by the staggering blows. Turning off Shun down to about half HP. But damage onto On. He's deleted. Gone. Resting with the daisies. Now they're going to get the kill onto Elku. Burned a lot of time as last time. And JDG ensure that vengeance is theirs for the red buff play.
There we go. That's what I meant when I said I'm happy to see JDG back on such good form. And core to it is Xiaoshu. He has been the man holding the standard for JDG. Felt like everyone else fell away from JDG. This guy has been stalwart. With the names on this team, Scout, Shun, Hayes particularly, you'd think they'd be the ones carrying this team. No, it's Xiaoshu, a guy which realistically has not had his time in the spotlight in the LPL on a top team, really. He's a guy which has been the journeyman. Now it's his time to shine. And honestly, doing it as BLG in such a fashion is so cool to see. I remember my very first LPL cast was him on Rare Atom versus LG in Xiao Hao, which you'll remember from, versus Annual's Legend, rather. He would have been on that team. Xiaoshu, he's been a player which has been waiting for this opportunity. He has been good for a long time, and now he has a chance to really show that off.
The win rate was looking really good for JG, and it got a little bit dicey as BLG honestly had a pretty good mid-game. That's a 3-man knock-up with the Glacial Fissure. For BLG managed to retreat far enough away. Goes crossed there by On, but eats a lot of damage. He's just not tanky with the Spellbook and the Redemption. He eats damage from this Aurora for breakfast.
Shen wanted to go and take the dragon while that's happening. Now BLG having to fall back into the choke point. Here comes Xiaoshu.
Counter-strike comes on down. Baseman has to flash back into the Redemption. George is about surviving into those bit, but I think he just died. Dragon secured. That's Soul Point. All the while, Shun continue to dance some arrows around, and he dances on their graves with those steel-capped dancing shoes. It's tap dancing as Elk eats another shotgun blast from the Weirding, and Paige gets the double.
JDG reminding perhaps BLG of the 2023 record Knights. He was on the better end of that. Worst one here will make it out with a Realm Warp. JDG, it's been a while since they could really claim the head-to-head versus BLG. Change the names, change the face. It's the Ricochet. It's gonna stop the recall from Knight, but not kill. JDG dominant here. Now in the mid-game of game 2. 3 dragons up to none. 3 grubs in as well. BLG, they've subbed in Beitron, who is now 1-4, and it has not achieved what BLG wanted. They've not had the early game they wanted. The synergy is not looking like it's on point either. This is the problem with changing junglers. It's not necessarily the individual jungler's fault. You can put whatever name you want on there. The synergy and the macro must match it. And with either Shadow and Beitron now, seems like it's not up to what BLG wanted. It's not up to their standards. See right here around the dragon fight, JDG managed to just force BLG back into awkward choke points. They control the terrain. The bullet time is not worth it. Again, you know, Finn doesn't really get the value he wants either. But this Renaxon, obviously on the screen here, not getting what it wanted. Got to question what's happening with this Misfortune too. I don't like this Misfortune pick at all. BLG, nothing's really working out for them here.
Eventually, I get the concept. Like, actually, you've got 3 other threats. The MF ult can theoretically kind of go untouched because you've got other people to focus on. But Elk's not found the angles really. Didn't win the lane. Part of that, I think, is part of the support matchup. On actively picks Nautilus into Braum and has gone 0-6-8.
It's not helped, has it? You would have thought laning phase might work out better with a Misfortune. Nope. Maybe you would have thought, well, the Trundle will help you get into the early game. Also, no again. BLG, their synergy is off. Individuals, you can definitely point different fingers in different games, but the synergy has gone for this team. JDG on the other side, they found a new lease of life, and Arnie's going to die again.
Not tanky, they'll get a redemption down. Scout might get traded here, actually, though. Flashes away to safety, and Bin's dead as well. Xiaoshu will leap strike forward to help Pace secure it. Flash is blown by a couple numbers of JDG, but now Beitron hit by that. Mounting red and slow. Go down the coast and then get out to safety. There's the actual mountain gun. Do forgive me. I got that one slightly wrong as to when that came down, but either way, Beitron's still not going to have that ability to get the full reset, and the inhibitor is just dead to the shove.
Inhibitor down. A pretty decent time mark. I mean, if you lose an inhibitor before Baron is spawned, things are going very badly wrong for you. BLG. You know, I was wondering whether BLG, you know, they finished 3rd in regular season. I was wondering whether they were even a top 3 team. Anyone's Legend looked a little better than them, and they chose JDG, and there was just that little like warning antenna. I thought, hang on a second. You know, JDG have looked, they lost both series versus BLG, but I really think that JDG have a good matchup into them. BLG will now Desperation Baron. Xiaoxi will have to teleport up. This is desperation, make no mistake, from BLG.
Scouts pull the Knight. He's got a Medjay. He would love to pick up a few more souls for it. Anyone want to sign an autograph, BLG? Right now, flank angle from Xiaoshu. Not spotted quite yet. They have down a half HP on the Baron.
There's okay, so there's a lot of HP to burn through still. Here comes BLG again.
On try to take flash over the wall, but Elk down to 5% HP, and Kindred picks up the Nautilus again. Realm Warp out, but Baron is JDG's.
It's not just desperation, it is desolation now. JDG will take the leash, take a free kill into On, and then also a summoner off of Elk. Take the Baron on the way out. Thank you very much, BLG. As BLG, they try the Hail Mary, it goes completely wide.
The Hail Mary, unfortunately, run out of Rosary Beads because they just get punched in the face before they can count him. And a lot of that has just been poor old On, poor old Bin, trying to find angles at the backside, just not finding it. Again, the Trundle's not been there either. We did worry for JDG's early game, potentially. It's not early game anymore, and you are having to hook into hell. And there are issues potentially with Draft at this point in the game.
Rush Tomato over in Twitch chat may pointing at the very important point. That is a 9-stack.
So it is.
Has the second range increase. If he gets one more, he'll get himself a 3rd. Very rare to see that in pro play. Shun, he was plying his Kindred trade for BLG for many years. Left the team now. Swinging it back in their face. Scout over the wall. That's a 4-man ult.
Goes between worlds, and On gets knocked up and dies for the 9th time this game. Xiaoshu at the backside with a counter strike. Shun picks up the mark on Knight. It all just keeps going JDG's way. A Lamb's Fight comes on down in BLG. Replacement for the jungler of Shun. Replacement for the jungler of Shadow. It doesn't matter. It's 7-2 and 15 for the iconic champion for Shun. And series point for Jing Dong Gaming as BLG left reeling. Lose with Shadow. Lose with Beitwan. Losing to Shun.
BLG chose JDG in this matchup. They chose to face Shun. They chose to face this team to 4th.
Volley over the wall, chunks out Elk. Nayo is for the moment done with. Going to see Beijing put down that wall, will ping it out. See what Shun's plan is. He is always, as ever, on this secret agent Xin Zhao.
Oh yeah, he does always like to play that skin, thinking about it.
The briefcase on.
Yeah. Sometimes I like to track which special skins people play, because sometimes they
Hillbilly Gragas score.
Hillbilly Gragas score, and that was while Arctic Ops was actually just a better skin, because it actually gave you a bit of a competitive advantage, because you could hide like your QR combo a little bit. There was that one awesome moment where Knight and Rookie were playing off against each other on stuff like Ari. And Knight, so at that point, Rookie has always used Fox Count second. It's going to crash down. Here. 3-2. I think that will be the end of things now. But yeah, it was Rookie always used Fox Ari. He used it since season 4, rather than when he started playing. Knight ended up using that skin against him, despite the fact that Knight never really used that skin, and beat him with it.
It was wild.
In spring of last year. Oh, it was so cool. Just the aura of it was really cool. And then Rookie never went back to playing that skin. Went back to it. So there's some differences there. Level 2, about to hit from Haze and Draw.
We all know as well, Faker, big fan of the Battle on the Riven. Definitely his choice, not locked in.
Yeah, definitely not locked in by the technicians on stage.
No.
Push in towards JDG. And reminder, this is the Zyra Rakan, which Elkin On picked for themselves. Now, it is sometimes quite hard to get push over Jin. Jin is very good at those early levels of the game and getting wave push. But Elkin On, we must track their power and their performance in this game. I think that they've left a lot to be desired from the first few games. The Misfortune was not something which I enjoyed that much. Not turned into that route. Goes on to draw instead.
The steal, of course, this time from JDG. Ended up having to burn that as he crashed down away, ended up taking a bit more damage there than I think they were hoping for. Couldn't land that deadly flourish, as you noted. Still, they do get the shove, do get to potentially reset here. BLG now going to be forced to think about their own reset time. It's the cannon wave will take a little longer to shove in, so should be a reset for Haze at the very least. You're sticking around with the cookie in inventory. We'll try and hold this wave best we can for this.
Yeah, this time it's Haze going for the early lane swap instead of BLG. First game we saw BLG very quickly going for the lane swap, crashing in for a tier buy on the Corki at that point. He was trying to hold the wave, we'll force the flash out. But what this does mean, actually this is quite important. The flash looks bad being lost for draw there, but it will be a late recall from Elkin On, so he had to make sure that the wave comes through. And Bin's now waited on top side too.
And he used energy to clear the wave, so that's the moment Shun goes forward, 3 talent strike into the deadly flourish. He's a dead Ambessa, overshoves, doesn't get the wave in properly, and is rightly punished by JDG.
We started this series with BLG getting a slight better edge on the lane swap in the wave timings. Now we see Elkinon stay a little bit further in that bot side, Bin staying a little bit longer on that top side as well, and both of them have unoptimal, that's the one, that's the suboptimal parts of this lane swap. JDG ahead in the early game, kill towards Shun, and BLG, what has happened to this team? We've said that they've been on poor form and that they've been under the knife of open heart surgery, changing junglers, changing the very chemistry of the team which they're playing in, and it feels like they've come out of Outpatience a lot worse for wear.
Southie has led to lead, not gold, at least of late. Scout, a bit of damage on, trying to make as much happen here early on a Rakan as well. Looking at the statistical win rate here, BLG, very good work on the Zyra Rakan, worth noting.
They really have looked good at this. They've locked it in quite prominently before, because what they end up doing is looking for these really nasty second Knight actually might have a potential little combo. A flash Q auto would kill, the Scout would have a flash in return. Elkinon love playing the Zyra Rakan. They can use the W into QE combo of the Zyra. Right there, you see right here, just going for that aggressive knockup, follow up some feathers afterwards. Gives you really good poke actually. The Rakan lands a Q midway through that combo. You get the healing on the way back too. BLG very good at using that. Knight just about really threatening.
Yeah, he's dead. That's overforcing, tried to get the wave shove and did get it shoved, but at cost, and a kill for Knight.
And Knight, the one player which has really been getting individual advantages for BLG in this series, gets a solo kill in this game 3. He hasn't been enough to really right the ship of BLG through this game, through this series before. But he might just be able to now with that solo kill. Knight, I think he's the person you probably criticized last for BLG in some of these games. I suppose he did get caught in that game 1. I suppose that's the one which would really really bring him to court for. Solo kill here, great start for him.
Gets himself that slightly early. It's some stacks on the Dark Seal as well, and Scout greeted it. We saw that he was chunked out, saw that he was low mana. He's like, I need to stick and get this wave shove so I can reset. And Knight goes, yeah, you do, don't you? All the while, chunk onto Pays, left low but survives. Just about gets out of range. Eats one of the feathers. Not both, so isn't rooted, doesn't die.
Going back towards the spot side. Hang on a second, Xiaoshu does not have that much HP. Goes all out though, and Shun is here as well.
No, his back spin doesn't have that much energy to work with. Finally gets that auto to reset some of that and back away here. Scout in the river, gets a shove onto Beichuan, who is still on the rift again. Got Shadow back in despite the game 2 loss. They are sticking with their original Switch jungler here.
It's that push in bot side. Xiaoshu would he's got enough HP now, I suppose, off that best first. Shun can come out and look for a smite or W to secure it. No. Level 6 hit by Nocturne. JDG, he must be wary of that now. And the shockwave available for Knight. Use that flash to kill Scout. Didn't have the shockwave at that point. And,
oh boy.
Watch out now. Knight would like to push in mid lane, join one side of the map on linking up the Beichuan. This is better from BLG. I think they have themselves a clear combo to play around right now, and JDG must be respectful of it.
And Shun, I think, understandably caught at the level 5 here, does not want to go all in onto this Nocturne. It does, however, leave Scout out to dry because Shun has been forced out of his jungle. Doing a 1v3 right now, doing his best to try and clear this out with the threaded volleys, but particularly easy. At least does manage to get down that seismic shove and hold away without the dive coming on through in full effect.
Beichuan's going to get a double camp steal through here, actually. And Shun does he have the smite? Gets it anyway with the W. That's important, gets him to level 6. If Beichuan had managed to get that, would have managed to hold Shun down to level 5 for another camp. He's still ahead in terms of CS. It would have been really nice to get the double camp steal from bot side of JDG. What's happening on the other side? Joel off position. Elk pushing up here. Knows that there's a chance of doing some rush. He'll be rewarded for his diligence in that. Many times you can walk up to the sideline, particularly as Sion, you think, no one's here, and get hit by a full charge Q. Feels a little worse at that point. So BLG, a more solid early game than the last.
Grubs up and available. Beichuan's going to start them up. I don't think we're going to get much of a contest.
Yeah, that's 2-2 actually.
Burridge comes on down. Really leads all that much. The battle down to wide. Grubs continue to be taken, and again, no real way for JDG to get in, and this feels like the first time BLG have had the slight advantage in this early game.
In game 1 they did a little bit, right, because of the lane swap. Very early on they did. I think they got about 2k advantage in that game 1, and then things really fell apart around the first objective fight or 2 in the game. Game 1 was the best of the game that they had. Then game 2 was where things really started to get rough. This one's a little bit more even on stands. Rebuff. Oh yeah, because Beichuan got the rebuff on the other side of things. He's going to get himself level 7 now for that camp. Scout. Counts flash.
Gonna be enough. The knockwave combo gets pulled back. The fear will come on down. The crash down is there, but it's still going to be the fear. The mount back up, and he gets seismically shoved under the turret. It's still not enough, and Joel can't keep his mid laner alive.
JDG have really tried to be respectful of the knockwave, and it just isn't enough. Scout walks up. Joel is even there to try and save his mid laner. It's not enough really to save it. Beichuan uses the flash. I suppose that's a bit of an extra resource which JDG will take away. Now the thing is, both the ultimates are down. There isn't that much cooldown reduction on them, so JDG will have a window of time now to try and retake parts of the map.
They want to try and start up a dragon or something here. They might do, actually. Starting that one up now. Talia with the Weaver's Wall could rejoin the fight relatively fast here.
And yeah, BLG don't have the ultimate, so JDG use the window of time to say, okay, we'll lose the kill, but we'll take the dragon. Actually, with that in mind, JDG, if they do get this dragon, I think they're actually not too unhappy with it. Draw, cancel out of his knockup.
Grand end there from On denies the full look, but it's still going to be dragon secured by JDG, and they'll take the same.
It's a dragon for JDG. It's nice for them. They didn't get the grubs this time. It's the first game of the series. They didn't get all 3 grubs, actually. They managed to get that in game 1. Good things there. Flick back, though, from Scout, who's in good amount of damage back onto On. He'll think about resetting now. After that, question chat, which I suppose we should address at all from Joshua K over in YouTube chat. Do you think JDG and especially Scout was sandbagging during the regular season? Honestly, no. I don't think so. I think that's
just bad, yeah.
I think that Scout has had some down moments of form and he ramps up in towards summer playoffs. This is actually a known factor about Scout. Scout always peaks in summer to the point where actually, I think there's a stat where Scout always wins at least 3 best of 5s in summer split. Always. For the last however many years, he's won at least 3. Hang on, jumping forward is On. Scout, no flash, does get the charm onto it.
Flash over the Unraveled Earth. The seismic shaft goes wide, and Scout is a dead man. He has been jumped on so many times this game.
All out, traded for the public execution. Ultimates on both sides.
The pullback. Ben's actually in quite a lot of danger here, I think. Where's the Q3? Just wide.
Close front stuff. Did have flash if it really came to it. Xiaoshu did as well, but doesn't want to go under turret. Ghost popped by a draw. Hang on a second. This could be a problem. There is a paranoia. There is a shockwave. BLG do have ultimates to fight back with. Is it going to be enough?
Spell Shield comes on down. You can tell you what the name of the Spell Shield is for Nocturne. No, it's a Spell Shield.
It's a Spell Shield, Sam, and we'll leave it at that.
I'll look that one up.
So, yeah, Shun gets the Gromp steal away there. Good farm advantage for Beitron. Well, it does have flash. We'll go for the flash. Combo onto Knight. Chooses not to just, they didn't have the mag storm for another 2 seconds. Anyway, so there's going to be Vin surviving on top turret. JDG not getting that much besides actually just a Gromp steal away from it. 2,000 gold lead for BLG. Their best early game so far. BLG getting those 3 grubs to use them on town. Now, Bin actually has the individual advantage. A little bit more from his plays.
Shroud of Darkness, and I definitely know that by myself, and not because Blade Trinity put that in chat. I absolutely did not steal that from anyone. That's just my knowledge.
Funnily enough, we were talking about Dark Revan earlier, and someone in chat actually has a Dark Revan profile pic. That's
quite
very,
fun.
Very, very topical there. Sometimes. It's the will of the force. It is. Knockwave again.
Oh boy, Scout, what do? There's no flash. Still under the turret. Doesn't get the seismic shove. Survives for a second or 2, but not before the command attack and dissonance ensures the kill is secured. Regardless.
Right.
0 and 4.
2 for 2 on the Knockwave combo. Beitron Knight getting 2 good kills onto Scout. And let's be honest, Scout has been stood pretty much under his turret for both of the attempts onto him, as he just can't deal with the crazy ultimate combo coming through. JDG, they do have great vision into the top side jungle to spot out one quadrant of it. You'd think by process of elimination they'd know that he's coming on bot side, but they're just not there in time to see things through. This is the point where JDG do really get worried. Their Taliyah is not a champion. Taliyah is just not a champion to start on boots, so you're not going to get your first item that quickly. That's the combo which On and Elf really like to do, by the way. W4 to the Khan, the QE from the Xayah. They love doing that for a little bit of poke. But JDG, they're having to play without a mid laner now. They're going to need so much time to bring this Taliyah onto the board.
It's going to get interesting for sure. For sure. Especially because we're looking a potential Rio from JDG or work. More perhaps. I'll interrupt that back there, and you struggle to make their own proactive plays, falling behind in a number of key locations. We kind of said in draft as well, look, what happens if Scout or Pays is not a champion and they end up in this mid game with a distinct lack of damage?
JDG, they're going to have to really hope that that peel is top-notch later on. You do have a Shinzao ultimate, you do have Cassante dragging someone out of that fight, and the Rel's not bad at adding in some CC as well. I get really, really worried though for JDG if this combo gets even, moderate better. I get really worried. BLG, if they just take enough HP off of the Taliyah, force Jin to the point where he can't auto-attack and has to use his W and his ult instead, I think JDG really do struggle after that point. I think Shun, if he can get himself a good intro into that fight and force, Knight to shockwave defensively or something like that, perhaps they can work through that instead. But then the problem is he still has someone like that and Besta following him. Elk will take himself a turret, has the Cull cashed in as well, which Pays didn't have on the other side. Jin very rarely goes to the Cull, so he doesn't really care for the attack speed and the like. It's not really an item for you. BLG in a very good spot. Reminder, they will have to reverse sweep in a matchup that they chose as the higher seed to win this series. Perhaps it starts like this with a stable game state and a good, obvious combo to play around.
Again, let's go where Shadows. We got subbed out. He played game 1, got subbed out for game 2. Still lost that second game, but now in game 3, Beitron right now in a pretty good spot here on the Nocturne. Has gone towards the Hex plate. The Knockwave combos have been very successful. Orianna 2-0-1. He's just in a very good place in general. Both major carries for BLG. And the Orianna and the Xayah feeling very happy about their place in this game right now.
Yeah, and again, questions in chat about where is Shadow. He played game 1, they got blasted in game 1, got subbed out. Baytran is now in. This is again game 2, but this one's looking better. Harold started up by JDG, BLG not wanting to contest.
Funnily enough, Alex, you know what I just said?
Oh, sorry.
Just before.
Sam, no. You do not get to start in terms of, oh, I didn't hear what you just said. Did you go listen back to that game 1 cast, Sam?
Herald is taken by the side of JDG at the very least. Scout is here. No knocked in.
They do have good vision on that top side, into the enemy jungle. They do have that. So at least they'll have some again. Just that knowledge of, what's the thingy? Buy a mission? Not a mission. The other thing. The thing where you do one thing, so it must be in the other thing. You want one side.
Elimination?
That's the one, process elimination. There you go. Good stuff.
Too much happening right now. Get a ward down, does have Desire behind him, so has that extended battle down range, courtesy of being with his girlfriend.
Yeah, Desire never accepts the proposal. She always wants to hear him propose again. It's very cute, actually. Have a second knock wave coming through again, potentially.
Crash down away. Smite down, but surprise, Seismic Shot just goes wide, Jorg flashes out of the shot.
Okay, so it's going to be a flash away from the rob. That is actually pretty big, but here comes the slapback.
Valid, the classic guard comes on down. And now comes the curtain call as well. Seismic Shot is good, and I think BLG might be in danger, but the body blocks will allow Oni to be safe for now. Full shot lands TP behind from Xiaoshu, looking for potential deep angle. Public execution is wide, exhaust comes on down there. They flourish. Xiaoshu into the back, quickness comes on down, but over the wall goes Ben! Eviscerates at least one. He'll get one back, the one's on Ben in danger, going under the turret, will die. Nice flank from Xiaoshu in the end.
Oh, Xiaoshu, the hero of JDG again. This guy has been mega for JDG. Great angle, manages to cut off the retreat from BLG and turn the fight into a 2-for-1. Scout does die again. He is 1-5. I will say, I don't necessarily think it is Scout's fault. I think that BLG have hard focused onto him. JDG will get themselves a Herald into mid lane. That's important for them to take a good chunk out of that. And BLG, a reality check that, yes, they do have that early game advantage, but that's actually been where they've been getting most of their advantages in games over this split. Later into the game, mid and particularly late game where things start to fall apart. This, I thought initially, okay, you just take the flash, you're out. You go too deep. Go too deep. You stick around a little too long. Scout, awesome wall to force the mobility out of BLG. Flash away from Baytran. And then stuck into the choke point, and a lot of their ammunition is gone.
It's a bit of an invade happening, doesn't really lead to all that much. And this is the flank from Xiaoshu we're talking about.
It's a great angle. A lot of low health members, a lot of the cooldowns are down, so they can't just immediately blow him up. The immediate charm onto him saves things from going from bad to very much worse, but even then, he manages to get through into that backline and make sure that Bin is left alone. There is no follow-up for Bin. He goes in, does take down the one. I think he has to do that at that point. I don't actually blame Bin for it, but he is alone on that mission.
Yeah, basically, because Scout flashed on the other side of the wall to get in range for the seismic shove to catch out Bin and on. And then he's like, well, I'm not getting out. I guess I just take one with me. And he does a decent job.
So, what's the next big things up? We have African spawning on the 20-minute mark, so that's coming up soon, and then the Dragon a minute after that as well. Decent goal leads for BLG in both carry positions. That is a huge issue for JDG. JDG do not have great DPS. They might be able to peel back around their front line. The actual sting and the combos they have from the Talia, from the follow-up damage of Haze, not going to be that significant. The thing which is saving them a little bit is the fact that BLG are not that tanky, so I guess you don't need as much DPS. They don't have a big old tank. Xiaoshu probably to go and stop this. Still feared.
Big, and then well, still very tanky. Now Shun's coming as well. I don't think it really leads to all that much. Knight just gets the clock right, wind up the turret so much. It's not big. Too much heckling.
It's like, when is a turret not a turret? When it's a jar. What?
When it's a pile of rubble.
Bring in the demolition core. Sorry, it's a planning permission. You know, got a new apartment block you got to bring here. Got to remove your defensive structures.
I've just looked at the scoreline and realised this guy was 100% for deaths, by the way.
Oh Jesus Christ! You're absolutely right. So, BLG just like, man, we really got to kill this mid laner. God, you know, you go back a couple of years ago, Scout versus Knight, 2023 summer. That was the finals matchup. Scout was against JDG on LNG. Oh, it was a great series, folks. If you do want to go back and watch some of the finals again, I really think that 23 Summer Finals is my first finals cast of the LPL, so I have fond memories of it. It was a great series. Right, Scout trading games on Vizier. Nico.
Combo, Knockwave onto one, but it's not necessarily the best target, actually. They do lose Jaw on the other side, on also low. Xiaoshu misses the footwork and the Pathmaker, and they end up losing the Shinzao as well. 2 members down. That's surely a second dragon now to BLG.
Yeah, so even with the Knockwave combo going into the Crescent Guard to deny a lot of damage, it's not enough. The JDG team is just not in position.
Oh, that lands!
How does that hit?
Z-Axis, thy name is Bin!
Well, Scout, he loses his 100% death contribution, but he will end up going down all the same. 1 and 6 on the Talia. 2,000 gold down. BLG much more coordinated. This is what they were aiming for when they switched in Vatron. I have to imagine they look a lot more synergized with this composition compared to Game 2 especially. Of course, that was Vatron in themselves. Perhaps the open heart surgery of removing jungles again. Perhaps it a bit of a bypass on their problems. Right now, clearing out this bot side, they will get themselves the dragon and the Atakan. Second dragon for them. They already have those 3 grubs. The petal advantage is nice for them, and JDG are really struggling to defend against the Nocturne Orianna combo. It is really, really hard for them to get in position after that first haymaker lands onto them.
Nice one, picked up that Medjai's likely. Too much to see as of yet. Another bit of downtime before the next plunge. Atakan, of course, also picked up by BLG. Yes. At this point, they're just in a very commanding position. 4,000 gold, Atakan, dragon advantage. Scaling somewhat immaterial, I think, in some ways this game. It's just BLG with the lead, and I'm not seeing anything on the side of JDG that says, well, this is a win con if you hit 3 items regardless.
And I think specifically when it comes to these team comps as well, I just don't see how you consistently hit the Orianna and the Xayah. This Medjai is likely going to be sticking at high stacks for most of the game unless Knight really over-positions. Occasionally does that on side lanes. The spot the ward that they were stood on, that was what JDG were really hoping for. No Baron available just yet. JDG are really hoping for missteps from BLG now. They're hoping that a combo goes onto the wrong target. That one looks a little better.
Guard comes on down.
Or maybe not.
Might actually be in a bit of danger. The Weaver's Wall comes on down. Scout has to go gold and immediately just don't have the damage. The damage comes down. Joel crash down over the wall, and JDG just stuck here going, I don't do anything.
Yeah, so it's going to be the Nocturne Orianna combo down. It was onto the Shinzao again, traded for the Crescent Guard. I don't think that's the best target. That's, you know, in the middle of, oh, it looks a little better. That was complete lie, by the way. Maybe don't put it onto the Shinzao, but now the front line is a little weaker now from JDG.
Scout also burning his arm guard, is now without that from it. Looks like Q3 does land it, flash away from Knight, public XP to the back, and the feather ball allows Ben to get a double, pays under the turret, try to survive, another feather caller, and Elkin shores a triple for himself.
Xiaoshu tries to look for the one play he sees that could win them the fight, a pullback onto a carry all by himself. It's flashed away from by Knight, and JDG handed the L. Knights and L's only happen in chess, apparently happens in League of Legends too. A much cleaner game from BLG. They look so much more confident playing around the combo in this team composition.
Much better stuff. I do apologize. Been got double and then out with the full. I have to clarify here. We'll look back at this because they actually think maybe we can potentially punish Knight here. We've got the Q3 stack. They managed to pull it back and can't quite get that.
Now the W does have a minimum charge up time, and I think that's what ends up killing Xiaoshu there. Sure. Lord managed to get that combo a half a second earlier. He probably killed the Orianna. That's actually something JDG could play off of. Can't quite get it done. And I think that's probably, folks, the last hurrah from JDG. All they're hoping for now is a threat somewhere else. Knockwave into the mid lane. Pays is an X-Jin.
Knockwave combo has been pretty damn consistent all game long. Get the tier 2 as well. Got themselves 3 grubs. At this point, it's probably just an inhibitor as well, and looking more and more like we will be seeing a 4th game this series.
BLG setting themselves up for a comeback in this series. We thought they were, you know, the Game 1 curse applied to them last year, particularly in summer. We thought, oh, they'll wake up in a series. This year it went from, oh, actually, no, it's not just a Game 1 curse, they're just struggling in general. It was unthinkable for our LPL tyrants, our overlords. And now we've gotten to the point where we're just wondering, how much can BLG do within a full series? This is their first playoff series and their first best of 5 of split 3, of course. They've They've taken a little while to wake up in this one. This has been their best game so far, but they've actually had a comprehensive game plan, not just a good early game with something else tacked on at the end of it, like much of this summer split, or split 3. Combo has a miss from draw.
Fortunate now, Shao doing danger on the other side, gets hit with the feather caller, does a decent job of path making to buy some time to get some resist on those looking. The publication goes wide edge on the backside though, still gets onto the backside. They're just so far ahead that it doesn't matter if some of the pieces miss, they still have enough in the tank to bring Scout down.
Yeah, I don't think the scouts are returning from their report. I think he's just gone out into the wilderness and died many, many times. Scout had a great couple of games in the start of this series, starting to struggle a lot more now. 1-7 for our legendary mid laner.
Entrance. Turns to a bit of an exit all the while. 3-manning the Baron are BLG. JDG coming over for last hurrah. Dead to the Dustbringer. Knight potentially in danger if the all-out comes on forward. Remember, doesn't have the flash. The shockwave is good, but the Crescent Guard buys time. Curtain Call just not in range anymore. As Bin will Drake count step with the last rate and a flash to get into the back line and bring down to it was Desperation Stations, and unfortunately they've come straight out of orbit.
JDG thinks they will have an angle onto the Orianna again, and it just doesn't work. Knight has been so critical to BLG's success in this game. When they've gone forwards and the combos have worked, it's because Knight has timed the combo well, and even when JDG think they have an opening onto him, he's just too strong, and even with the extra Meteorite's move speed, too hard to close down. BLG much more confident in this game. I think he spots that draw over the wall there with his ball. If he does, tower down easily.
Dragon Soul Point now for BLG alongside Baron. Doesn't even need the Soul Point. Probably look to try and end this with the inhibitor already down in mid lane. They need one more, and then the game looks pretty much unwinnable for JDG. Trapped in their own base, forced to clear minions. Soul Point as the backup, the insurance plan. I think they need to take it out, really.
Yeah, I think they're not going to get much power, payment out of that one. JDG on the other side. Yep, they should have got themselves some... Well, Scout should have got themselves some life insurance. Be a very, very rich person then at that point. Has himself Zonya's, but it's just come in way too late, hasn't it? He had the stopwatch a little bit earlier. It's not made the difference. JDG, I don't think they've played around scouting out the Nocturne aggressively with the Shins out well enough into the mid game. They did it for bits in the early game. Here comes the combo potentially again. The lights have been turned out.
Paranoia comes on down. The tether is broken from this big horror public execution. The backside the exhaust comes on down, but I don't think it'll be enough to really keep anyone left. Haze flashes, but to what end? The Crescent Guard is down, and Bin is saying it will not make a damn bit of difference. A double to the top laner as Elk picks up another, and BLG ensure that they do not go down quietly, will not go down 0-3, will bring us to game 4. BLG wake up, and just in time.
BLG go under the knife again, changing a core piece of the heart of their roster. Nocturne, the bait run works out well. Shadow played game 1 of this series.
Shove. Try to buffer out things like the Mortal Steel quite well.
Bit of a flippy matchup. Let's hear those Gyos. See this Morgana jungle in play.
Fancy new Morgana skin as well. It's cool wings when she flows out with the home guard. You're starting with the sapling toss. Need to get control of those bushes best they can. And be damn nasty. Hey, starting with the piercing out. Worth noting as well, that's Comet for pay, so it's likely going to be the Poke Virus here.
Yeah, we saw some of it the other day. We saw one game of it in LEC. LCK has gone towards it as well. There were nerfs towards the build, but Poke Virus is such a powerful style of play. It's quite hard to really disregard that, despite the fact that a lot of the damage has been eroded over time. BLG, reminder folks, they chose this matchup. They lost the first 2 games, now mounting a comeback in the third, and we'll see if it can last beyond that point. They would have to reverse sweep. This is BLG's first game on red side as well, worth noting. BLG with very 20-23 set of carries in the Tristana and the Ziggs. Very good at destroying towers if they get ahead of the game.
Harvest with Bageman worth noting. Most commonly seen rune anymore, but of course Morgana does find it very easy to proc with just putting down a pool. And of course this will be a damage building Morgana more likely than not, so we'll get access to a fair amount of damage with things like that tormented Soil. It's not Tormented Soil anymore. It's got a different name, doesn't it? They've changed the name of it.
It's just the brown pool, Sam.
The brown. Is it brown? It's got a black and purple.
It depends on the skin, Sam. But all
fair.
it does is like, if you play this champion in support, you know, all it does is discolor the ground very slightly. It used to be the Tortured Soil. It's not that anymore. I think it's Tormented Earth, maybe?
I think I still call it Tormented Soil. I feel like it's got a different name now. It's Knight Unbinds the Soul, but Knight with the early shove. Work nonetheless. Scout down about 10% HP, but it has got the door and shield and the footwork, so we've got to hold on to just a little longer here.
This Morgana is largely in a pretty good spot. Worth noting, of course, that the black shield can't be broken by anything but magic damage, and JDG don't have much magic damage. Last time we saw a Morgana jungle was by Hanavi on JDG. Against the organization being played towards. Knight will jump forwards, get himself the full bomb charge, almost one auto off. Scout going forwards for the knockup. Oh! First blood solo kill for Knight in the mid lane. Scout got a hard diff in that last game. Got destroyed against the Nocturne Orianna combo, and Knight bringing out a little bit of last summer's meta with the Tristana mid. Destroys Scout in the 1v1.
Scout tries to get cheeky with it, doesn't he? Mortal steals back in to get the fleet footwork proc, and Knight goes, yeah, you can't do that.
Yeah. Scout, at Worlds last year, was really, really dominant on the likes of the Yone. It was a power pick at that Worlds, and it's what really carried through LNG to that knockout stage after going undefeated in the Swiss stage before that point. That Yone now sees himself die for first blood. JDG on match point against BLG. Technically have 3 match points against them. First one didn't go so well. This one not necessarily starting as well as they would have liked either.
Figured it out. It's Tormented Shadow. That's what it became.
Oh,
it used to be
what?
Tormented Soul. Now it's Tormented Shadow.
Okay, I didn't catch that one. That was
Well, I mean, he is being tormented. He's not playing.
yeah. Oh god. Yeah, true. Not being tormented because he's not playing. Yeah. Well, yes, BLG, of course, subbing out Shadow for Beitron. Beitron has been playing a lot of the Morgana in solo queue as they've been bring about on socials. See if there's any value comments in this game. Knight's, of course, the main character of this early game so far, but then damage onto him by Pays and Draw.
Not back there. Gonna flash over that decimating smash. Bin now potentially in danger. Has to flash himself.
Does needs to get away from that 3-stack W charged arrow from Pays. Then will lose his summoner for trying to contest that wave. As a bit of regen, worth noting that Sign has the highest base HP regen in the game. Stuff like set passive and lightning do a lot of damage. Good combo onto Xiaoshu there.
Is the Ziggs Leona lane at its finest. Does get a lot of work done.
Excuse me, what is that on?
And pull away for a second or two. Is Xiaoshu in a dangerous position. Just goes down. Elk gets the kill, and that combo is deadly enough.
Jump scared by something I didn't realize we had on. All while solo kill, the 2v1 kill happens on that top side. Jesus Christ. Doubly dropped on mid lane from Beitron. Of course, the Morgana jungle does go towards that. You can test really well against the likes of Sejuani. You can jump forwards, but can't really get that much work onto the Morgana.
Landing lands. The wall goes on with the hex. Like this might have got a bit deep for this one for my money. Mortal steal now on tonight. Passive comes down. Tries to rocket jump out to save, but he's on in a dangerous position as the shield times out. Does get hit by the permafrost. Can't quite get enough damage. BLG extricate, but it cost them a summoner or two.
I don't know whether the Black Shield was off cooldown until it was hit at the very end there. But On was in a little bit of trouble because the immediate CC did land. Question, chat. Has Xiaoshu been an upgrade, downgrade, or side grade to Arla? Well, Arla was quite good for JDG earlier in the year, but Xiaoshu has been unleashed on JDG. I thought it would be a side grade, maybe a slight downgrade at first. I actually think, despite Arla having a good split earlier in the year on JDG, I think Xiaoshu's been an upgrade. First 2 games of the series, he was so powerful. Last game, I even think he did what he could on the Cassandra, despite it not being as valuable as they potentially would have wanted to. He's not going to jump forward. Big wave. I think he wants to just clear the wave first, and he will do so. Level 6 a little later than Scout. That crashed in wave. Shun heading towards top side. BLG, good early game again. Game 1 felt pretty good for them. Game 2, they were smashed in the early game. Game 3, they picked things up just a little bit again. On the whole, BLG's early games have been amongst the best here in the LPL. It's been later into the game where we wonder actually, are they synergized enough? Are they playing around the right combos? Because it felt like their objective fights, their team fighting was so much worse than we expect from such a great group of players.
Out of the Senate played there by the Bramble Smash. Zigzag comes on forwards though. The Mega Inferno Bomb managed to trunk back well enough. The Ignite also put the jaw up. The problem is Elk has very little mana. The piercing arrow lands afterwards. Space just stands there and waits it out.
He still has his W up too, so he can use that W for an empowered hour if anyone does walk up to him. Gonna be a back off from BLG. Pays earlier in the year, I think, was the standard bearer for JDG. I'm trying to remember if it was split 1 or split... I think it was split 2, actually. I was saying actually Pays arguably on MVP list. Arguably up there. It was so important the way this team was playing. This split's been more hot and cold from him. I wouldn't say he was bad, but I think that the entirety of JDG had a bunch of consistency issues, and he was on that list. No one really escaped that from JDG besides maybe Xiaoxi, who was the guy that was, as we were saying, in this split.
I agree.
I thought it was like, it's like a revelation.
No, I mean, that's the last book in Bible, I guess. We got Babylon coming up anytime soon. We get some Avenged Sevenfold songs coming in.
Did you see that one post? I think it was on the Minecraft subreddit. It's like, hey guys, I made the Tower of Babel in Minecraft. It's like, oh my god, lo siento. It's just like everyone's speaking in like a million different languages. Honestly, fantastic.
Clever, fabulous.
Oh, it's wonderful. Grub started. Now Morgana does take these very quickly because of that AoE magic damage. AP junglers really clear this quickly. You see how quickly they can burn them down.
All right, well, there goes Grub number 1. What about numbers 2 and 3? Secured by BLG so far, and they will smite out the last one. And I think JDG might be just a little late to fully contest. The Black Shield comes down to base on himself, and On is not that threatened because he can just press W.
That's the Eclipse.
That's the one I was going to say. E. It's like, it's not E.
Yeah, W's in-game, W's in chat. Beitron Black Shields himself, and you could see the problem that JDG wanted to fight. How do you fight against the Black Shield onto that first target? Because the Sejuani ultimate is not going to hit the way they wanted, and they didn't have the Maokai level 6. Now, later on into the game, you can use that Maokai ultimate to kind of funnel up the enemy team, make it so, one person tanks the ultimate, maybe with a Black Shield, but there's only really one person who can disengage. JDG, they need to really find good teamfight angles later. They need to blow the Black Shield easily, somehow. Not sure how they're going to do that with a lack of magic damage to blow it. And then also land an AoE engage afterwards, probably.
Got to do it onto a lot of very mobile, very long-range carries in a Tristana and a Ziggs, who are notorious for being either a long way away or very slippery. Cluster shot, rocket jump, and you've got Black Shields. Yes, you've got a lot of tools to lock people down. Some of them in a 1v1. Scout looking for some vengeance for earlier will force the flash off Knight.
It's nice stuff. Scout, good trade there. Knight used the Buster Shot earlier. Just wanted to clear the wave and get out. Loses the flash because Scout hits his stuff. Beitron going behind Xiaoxi. Xiaoxi, if he gets hit by that Q, he's a dead Aatrox.
Well, be it the binding in the way. The tormented Shadow comes on down. Will try and make himself a world ender, but there's some serious chains in the way. And Ziggs goes danger close.
Beitron doesn't even need to use the Q. Just walks in with the ult. Well played to him. And Xiaoxi goes down a little bit further away from his teammates and the danger close to the other side.
Look, he's diving feet first into hell. He's got some stratagems to back him up.
By the way, folks, Sam and I have been playing far too much Helldivers.
A lot of Helldivers.
I got my first Hive Lord kill the other day. It was awesome.
I need to do that.
I have just
help kill Hive Lords.
Sam, I could certainly try, but it's going to be so many deaths. Sam,
I don't think I have thermite grenades.
Let me just warn you, Sam. It is going to be so many deaths.
That's fine.
Yeah, for those of you who've been enjoying that recent update, you can join us in commiserating.
If you join the Discord, guys, we'll play with you. Come play some Helldivers with us.
Oh, God. BLG.
The call is out.
BLG, minute now until Dragon spawns. 2,000 gold ahead. And Ziggs is now 2 kills up.
Yeah.
And this is one of the great things about Ziggs. You can just get random kill participation from across the map and you get to pull ahead in the matchup. Ziggs doesn't have to get value from TVT. Same kind of thing technically for Varus. Also was mid lane and used by Draw.
Winding down. Worth noting as well now, BLG with another good early game lead. Their best early game lead, I think. It's been the most convincing, I think is I was going to put it. The last one was bullying Scout. This one's just been a bit more holistic wins.
And I'm getting quite worried that you are against an AP jungler. AP junglers with a farm lead or a win condition in themselves.
Yeah.
They can actually be a carry. Beitron was there. Hang on a second. Q. Wait, looking for that long shot. Can't quite land it. There's more CC coming. That's a teleport from the Maokai. Did they call the play off now?
One potentially in danger here. Gets out of the infernal chains. Lots of chains this game.
But I think BLG are just happy to say, well, we're going to walk up. Remember, they have the double Demolitionist, and they have 3 grubs. They will slaughter this turret. Yone is pushing topside, but I don't think it's going to be in anywhere near amount of the time they need to do to combat this. First turret easily goes down there. The ult for Poke from Elk.
Yeah, I think Poke perhaps undersells the amount of burst that was doing. Ow, Luden's build for the Ziggs, by the way. Somewhere out there, I'm sure Orcs is approving. They'll throw out Nature's Grasp.
Root up the Leona. Did it pull back under this turret, actually? Taking turret aggro, has to flash, but this turret's still under siege. And remember, they've got the short fuse, they've got the satchel, it's gone.
2 turrets quickly pushed in, and on the top side of the map, is there still 4 plates on the top side turret? They've not managed to hit it at all. The wave will crash in now, but Bin could potentially even just ult to the turret if he really wanted to get there quickly. JDG so far behind on the map.
And I want to remind people, that's the Dark Binding missing on. I think may well be dead here, but the turnaround is ridiculous! And Shun gets blasted by his former teammates.
Is anything going to happen? Scout might look to ult in.
Oh, the buster shot buffers through somewhat, but it's still not. Nobody's even the Dark Binding and goes down! Oh, Jing Dong, it's not pretty. At the very least, the sapling burn, I think, brings down one with a piercing arrow assist from Pays.
BLG, a great early game now. It went from a good one to a great one. They are ahead on the map. They are pushing waves earlier than JDG can respond to them. 2 turrets in bot side, plates in top side, and JDG lose kills in the rotation as well. This is a 5,000 gold lead near enough in 13 minutes.
And I want to zoom out a little bit here, take a bit of framing coming into the series today rather than what we've seen just inside the series, because I want to remind people that BLG's name, the nickname that Alex has been throwing out, and that has become a bit of a meme, is bad late game. We were expecting, coming into this series, that BLG would have significant early leads. We were expecting some significant early game advantages, but the moment plates fall, the closer we get to Atakan, the more the urge, the great desire, the great monkey paw curling begins to happen for BLG to just to throw it all away despite having 3,000-4,000 gold leads. They have thrown them very consistently, the most consistent of any team in the damn league.
I think what really helps them in the last game and this one, though, is just having an obvious combo to play around. Nocturne Orianna, you know how to play around that. You just ping it onto someone who's out of position, you have a fight started. Stuff like Vi worked for Beitron in the past before. Reminder at the start of the year, Beitron was brought in because BLG couldn't find convincing aggressive plays. Beitron was the Sejuani Vi player for them. Now he's coming on something like the Morgana, but even then, the Q binding is something which he's very happy with, and BLG, they find themselves obvious combos now. For Nocturne Aria, the game before this, Leona Morgana, if someone gets hit by CC, they are remaining CC'd until they die. Pretty much. Right, the spawn, and this is that combo.
Solar Flare into a pullback draw. I think it's just a dead tree. Turns into Fireword as the last order comes on forwards. And they get another pick off. Draw's first death of the game. He's gone for the Mikhail's first, but it means with that spellbook in particular, you're just a very squishy champion. And Dragon number 2 is BLG.
I just don't know how JDG play out this game from behind. I just don't see it. If you have to walk into a hail of Dark Binding, Zenith Blades, and even something like the Satchel occasionally pull you out of position, JDG are going to find it hellish to fight from behind, and you definitely are.
I want to call out a few items here as well from BLG, because we've already seen the Dark Shield, we've already talked about the front line, we've now also got a Verdant Barrier for help, we've now also got a Mikhail's for on. Even if you land the CC on someone who is not Black Shield, who is not blocked from all of the engage by a Scion standing in the way, you just get cleansed, and then you get the Satchel out.
Speaking of that, right here, you'd normally look for a pick onto someone like Leona right here. He has a Black Shield. Normally you'd see, you know, the Maokai W4s, there's a Ghost popped there. This is the power of the Morgana jungle, and I wonder whether we will see more of it after the buffs on recent patches. The thing is, Morgana is good in solo lane and in jungle. It's a flex pick technically too. Bin on the flank. Hell started by Scout, charges up his Q, but I don't know if he really wants to be hit.
Lands it onto Bin, is taking a bit of extra aggro, stacking it up again throughout that Spirit Cleave to buy some time, binding onto the Aatrox, who will throw down the World Ender, but I think it's looking like a very dead world. Fortunately for BLG, they can't quite secure the killer. Scout finds an angle in the backside, but he's just up now into Knight, gets to hop away with his own flash. The bindings land, Zing picks up another, and Jing Dong Gaming have nothing. Pays is forced to flash to get something back.
Hayes flashes to get one back, but it is just disastrous outside of that. JDG will lose the Herald off of this, and BLG find that obvious combo again. It's a binding into the CC from the Leona, into a good fight start from BLG. JDG, they almost find themselves a good turnaround with a good quick kill onto Knight. He just about escapes and forces JDG to overstay a little longer, and we'll see that in this replay. You teleport into a Morgana. Great timing. He's not enough. Really jumps forwards into them, and it's not quite sure he's got himself Mikhail's to throw onto him at this point. So I don't believe he does. Black Shield, Mikhail's onto On. You highlighted them just before he came through. He's even picked off the return kill that easily. This is about as good as it gets from Scout. He actually has a pretty good combo here, but has to dive in a little too deep. Knight lives.
an item, anything. And Knight dies there. Paze does eventually pick up that kill, and that's good work at least there. But again, I just don't see how easy it's going to be. You lose the poke whore here into a Ziggs, into a Morgana, into the Tristan's going to get more leveled. You are outranged this game. It's a support Maokai as well, so you can't even rely on sapling damage as kind of your pseudo return poke. Pseudo-ace return poke. I mean, Jingdong drafted for all in. They drafted for wombo combo, and BLG said, yeah, bet.
They outrange, they have CC, they have so much disengage, and they got a tank frontline. Doesn't get much hard on this. The clean feed is just struggling a little bit here, folks. He'll be back soon. Don't you worry. It will be. 2 items for Beichuan. That Horizon Focus is not normally what you would see from a Morgana jungle second, from what I know. It does give you a lot of good cooldown reduction, though, for more black shields, more bindings, more everything. Don't panic. Don't back. You'll be back
Wait for the
soon.
audio. Once you hear the audio, you know we'll be coming back on in. There it is, and we're back to live. Herald's been dropped onto the turret. It goes down. In on a flank angle here, so is Scout. We might be looking for that Hail Mary angle. They can't Herald charge onto the tier 2. Again, you've got Tristana, Ziggs, and a Herald and 3 grubs. Your turret taking is legendary this game. And even without the Herald, it's gonna go, surely. Satchel down, Nature's Grasp across. An angle, they just don't have the damage. Solar Flare immediately turns off by Paze. Courtesy of the Mikhails, turning around now on the bin, who's a bit deep, but again, I don't think they've got the damage right now to threaten the Scion as Xiao Shu and Shun forced to back away. Bin a little bit split off. Oh my days, the Mega Inferno Bomb damage pays down to 10% HP, if that. On now in danger himself, though. Piercing arrow comes on down, and Xiao Shu gets that one. Glacial Prism just wide, and 2 turrets for a kill. Still probably worth for BLG.
Oh, hugely so. The map control which BLG now have, the territory they've taken across the map, will make it almost impossible for JDG to get a good objective setup in the future. There is a dragon coming up in a minute. We're getting to the point where Atakan and Baron will start to spawn. If the game's gone so fast and so out of control that you forget that Atakan and Baron haven't spawned just yet. But with BLG pushing in so far across the map, 5 turrets taken before 20 minutes, JDG, they won't be able to control their own jungle before moving into these big objectives.
Soul Point available to BLG in 30 seconds. And again, we didn't talk about it so much because it wasn't necessarily where we were at in the game, but called it out on that shove. You have got Tristana Ziggs. Your ability to shred structures is ridiculous. You've also got the 3 grubs. 20 seconds now on Dragon. BLG in position.
And they've got so much extra kind of run-up time to work with. They've left actually the setup a little bit late, BLG. They wanted to reset first. They've given up some objective setup. Atakan spawning soon too. This could be where JDG mount a comeback. They need a giant wombo around the dragon and the Atakan. That is their comeback potential.
On, flash away, Bin zoned off for about a second or so until his ultimate. Flash being down, potentially problematic. I think that was just being blown rather than just coming back up, but we'll double check that one.
Yeah, Jawad blow his there. He has his ult coming back up. Ziggs ult's not fantastic.
Amazing, maybe giving an angle. Scout unbinds his soul, Elk will bounce away with the satchel charge. Atakan still aggroed here.
Yeah, and hang on, here comes Bin.
Doesn't really land exactly what he's looking for now. The Nature's Grasp comes on forward, and he's been a little bit split off from the rest of the team, but I don't know if they've got the damage to kill off this Scion right now. Dark Shield comes on down. Black Shield, I apologize. Flash away. By sometimes Glacial Prison onto On, but he's got his own Eclipse Shield. Now Shun Lo has to Ox Assault over the wall. The Horizon Focus actually by a lot of vision. They blow up the Sejuani. Shun down for the count, trying to get the kill onto Bin and should be able to do so. Into the back, I go Scout. He's on to Elf, who manages to flash away, stay safe. The Buster Shot, the Satchel Charge. Scout gets a bit of healing, but it's just not enough. It's a fadeaway explosion, but JDG still come out with the extra kill.
They do, and there's 3 dead for BLG. We did say JDG needed a big fight around these 2 objectives just spawning. I think they vaguely find it. It's not as clean as they would like. It's not going to go into the Atakan itself or into the Dragon. But this is the worry. BLG, as the game goes on, their team fighting and their just team play in general gets a lot less crisp. Teleport comes in for On. Off of the spellbook, can't get that much from it. Dragon now started by BLG, and with Morgana, they will take very, very quickly. AP Jungle is very good in taking these objectives, of course. JDG, they get themselves an extra kill. Can they find themselves any angle in towards this? I don't think so, with Sejuani so far away.
Aurora has got a spellbook, but currently on a cleanse. On coming on over, TPing in. Dragon secured. We're back to the Atakan. And BLG, first round just makes everyone happy. Later on, though, the holding of beers has been a problem for BLG. Down to 10,000 HP. Pull off the Atakan, they might, but is that just a leash for JDG?
I don't know if, no, it's not low enough for it to be a leash. It'll be a back off. Problem is, ultimates are now coming back up. Ultimates coming back up. A lot of summoners are, I suppose, down. Beitron and Bins and Elks down. Importantly, JDG get themselves the bot lane push. I think JDG, considering the point of the game, they're in a much better state than they should have any right to be being 6k down.
6k down, and yet somehow, someway, the BLG propensity for the Intercon scares us. It's another poor ultimate. Tried to get the angle there with the solar flare, but the cleanse from Paze means he gets to glide out of that ult combo. Intercon started down to half.
Okay, we're really just going for the flip now. All right, it's just going to be a flip. We'll see what happens. Beitron, no flash for his own ultimate confirmed. It's going to be an Intercon flip.
Nature's Grass going to try and turn this one into the fight. He's blocked up by Finn, who gets cleansed by the Mikkel. Dark Binding goes wide. Reset on the Intercon down to 4,000 HP. Knock up onto Finn, who's going to take some damage. Another black shield over the wall. Elk continue to try and poke. Dark Binding goes wide. Nice pressure comes on it. It's taken by Sejuani. Good steal on the Intercon. Good secure, I should say. JDG might lose a member. The Buster Shot helps secure into the backline with the train goes Finn. A Scout gets a heal. Trying to flash away as BLG continue to try and hunt for kills with the Intercon going down. But the slow from the hail of arrows means it's unlikely they'll be able to get any more. 2 dead. But JDG get the bigger prize of the Intercon. Pays good damage. Can't quite secure the kill.
So it's Intercon for 2. All things said and done, JDG. Suppose they'll take it for the point they are in the game. BLG, a bit of a reality check that actually the Varus is doing a lot of damage. And the front line, if not supported adequately, apparently, well,
Aquatically in the river.
Yeah, aquatically, yeah.
They need scuba gear.
Yeah, well,
For diving.
yeah, exactly. He ain't no amphibian. He's either living on the ground or in the river. This one very nearly doesn't live in either of them. Shouldn't. Does get the smite very, very close. See that? Elk gets some really good damage after this point. The tanking of the Intercon takes a lot of HP away from the front line. Shashi can't quite regen up in the way that he wanted to.
And Bing goes quite deep. George tries to buy some time. Stops Knight getting the easy resets. Back to live we go. Baron in 50 seconds. BLG still up 6,000 gold. They still got a couple kills off that. There are worse ways to lose an Intercon. And again, we said about potential win conditions. The Tristana, 1,700 gold ahead. A 506 Ziggs is a win condition. The Morgana, 2k up, 2.5 items is a win condition. Yes, you've still got a Negatron Cloak and a Spectral Cowl in the inventory of Spectral Maw. Sounds like a cool item name, but it is not, in fact, that. I think that is that Viego E.
Which one? Spectral Maw? That's the double.
Yeah, it's the Vietnam.
The E is the Harrowed Path. BLG sieging in now. If they do get ahead of the game, it's so obnoxious. JDG cannot afford to let a Baron go over. Baron is death against the Tristana and the Ziggs from ahead of the game, especially when you have the Siege, the Morgana, and the Leona. JDG 7,000 gold behind. They have a chance potentially to wombo. Again, a good angle from Scout, good enough poke from Paze, and I actually think Xiaoxu is so important to this game as well. Perhaps he can get enough damage into that backline, enough disruption onto the Tristana, the Morgana, the Ziggs in a good enough angle. Perhaps that can make the difference as well. Minotaur Dragon, that would be Infernal Soul for BLG. BLG are very much in control of this game. Now, you have to forgive us, though. I have some doubts about BLG. That early game has been good, largely this split. BLG has stood for bad late game in this split, though. We mentioned that earlier. We'll mention it again, just so everyone's on the same page. BLG subbed back in Beitron over Shadow. We were worried that, again, it's open heart surgery changing jungler in a team, especially so many times it feels like BLG have been under the knife and the anesthetic has started to wear off. Have they gained something from this series, though, by bringing Beitron back in? They have looked better in this game and the last one. Good enough to get themselves really back into the series, though.
It's not a Lilia, but it is an AP. Leandri is building jungler. He does so love them. It's his flavor of carry. So far, so good. The Morgana been problematic identity level for JDG. R5 was well executed here from BLG. Luke Skywalker pick, finding a potential proton torpedo. JDG's better Death Star comp. It really is all about trying to get the wombos down for JDG, get that mass amount of CC and pick. It's not been very easy. Shun, particularly tanky on the front line. Dragons up, Soul started, BLG beginning.
Whoa! Tro so low, the ult coming through from the Ziggs, good damage. JDG will have to fight from a HP disadvantage, and then you just give it up. That's the poke is too much damage from long range. The artillery is called in. Mac round spinning up. BLG land at home.
reset here. Draw is going to get caught out. There's a satchel charge, and it's another kill on top of everything else. And now Infernal Soul, Baron, and JDG have to do it all over again. This time versus an Infernal Soul.
Yeah, if there is a tree and if a tree falls in a forest with a Yordle to it, yes, they do actually die. Shun, spotted out by Finch, trying to secure his own Gromp. He is able to, but be able to secure the Baron afterwards? Well, most likely not. JDG, here we go. Fell behind this game, struggled outside of that Khan fight. BLG looking to secure that Baron. That would really be the death knell.
Oh, transfer out. Oh my days, the bouncing bombs really hurt.
It's disgusting damage. The Horizon Focus is so gold efficient. Baron easily taken here by BLG. Both Mega Buffs taken in the last while. The Infernal Soul Poke from Morgana and Ziggs is going to be unstoppable now from BLG.
We already said we like the compositional play patterns of BLG this game. How do you get through Verdant Barrier and Mikhail's and Rocket Jump and Frontline and the Black Shield on top of all that? It's not been easy for JDG. One or two close moments. Scouts found a few fancy looking engages that just haven't led to a kill. And again, to get those engages, you still end up making a bit of a charge of the Light Brigade. You are diving through so much damage. And it has been such an issue. We've got a 3 item for Stana, a 2.5 item, okay, realistically 3 item Ziggs,
yes,
who has basically not completed the Verdant Barrier and said, you know what, I'm going to get the Horizon Focus, I'm going to build towards Death Gap. That's more what's important here. But what I'm saying is, well, look, keep Ziggs. And now huge turrets under siege.
Got themselves the Demolish knockbox there. Ult goes way wide onto Pays, as does the Q damage from Morgana. It's kind of nasty.
That tormented shadow burn, and it is pretty obnoxious. No idea how many Dark Soul stacks they've got on that one. Elk has to flash away. Will do so as Scout when looking for it and ends up trading summoners.
The siege continues. BLG, they just always have another skill shot. Mikhail's on Dwo, saves him from that Q, on potentially angling for something else. The bomb still raining down from Elk.
Sure, flash out, having to throw down the Nature's Grasp, but again, this support Maokai just hasn't really found any value base. One forced to flash again. Scout gets 2 with his Qs. That's not bad, but it's still not a kill. It's still not a pick. It's still not saving them from their inhibitors going down, or at least going under siege.
Credit to JDG. Given they are this far behind in this game, nearly 10,000, they're actually defending better than you'd give them a hope for. ADG still think this series has been much better from them than a lot of regular split. By the way, if BLG were to win this game, oh god, I think 3-1 for Red Side in the series, which is quite unlike LPL. Oh, walking forwards with a ghost, really threatening, flashing forwards.
On flash forward for the Shield of Daybreak, the damage goes right down to the Scout. He's got nowhere to go, couldn't find a moment to ult away. On find what may well be the final straw that will break rather the camel's back. Into the base we go. JDG, a member down, must find and engage now, or it will be lights out.
Some wave clears and it's played forwards. Q charged up from Bin. Knight pushing in the wave. BLG, of course, if all things come to head, they can just hit the turrets. They have so much extra members.
They land the Glacial Prison onto On. They do get on to reset for Xiaoshu, but Knight goes forward and blows up Pays. Rocket jump, 2 hops this time, and they will cha-cha real smooth into a game 5. You know what track's being queued up. DJ, hit it. We're playing Silver Scrapes.
BLG tasked with a reverse sweep to win the matchup, which they picked, have given themselves a...
I think by fans out there with the limited success at MSI. Had a poor showing for C9 the other day in a game 5 as well. But onto the Rift we go for the final time this series. JDG on the verge of being reverse swept.
Oh my god, the level 5 stack. Level 1 stack was 5-man. 1 in bot lane, 1 to the enemy jungle. Gold card was locked in.
Do they know?
I think both teams. Oh my god, this could be a game 5 determined by a level 1. Did they see? Did they see? Oh, On!
Oh, it is gone! He goes, yeah, I'm going to get out with the flash!
The 5-man route from Knight saves his life. Knight saves On with a 5-man route.
And his flash, nonetheless, is going to have to reset. They'd love to interrupt it. Pays on the Ezreal. Pays real. When he was on Genji looking so damn dominant, this was one of his picks. Good start for the lane. At least supposed to be dominant, supposed to be brawling. Down flash? Yeah, that's going to suck.
No. The flash being down is bad. Now, it is worth noting, at least as support does start E. Because of the amount of CC you get at the level 1, just landing the Cocoon, despite the fact that it does no damage, can open you up to get a guaranteed Caitlyn Q and about 2 auto attacks per champion, thereabouts or so. So you do normally start that anyway. Of course, that comes with the repel on the spider form as well. Root landing from Knight. He would have loved to start Q, but it doesn't really matter too much. Knight saving his support on a Mel, which we've not seen, basically. This is not a champion we've seen, basically, since just after her release, rather.
Been very rarely seen. Part of it was global bugs. A weird interaction with Dragon Soul. The heal pop by Draw. That was looking for a bit more damage. Didn't quite get it. And still got his heal, worth noting. And the pop, but I like that bluntly.
As the game goes on as well, you really need to pay attention to gold card into Blitzcrank and also TF going in towards Yorick's lane as well. Now, the problem is, you go up towards that lane with the Mordekaiser. Mordekaiser can just turn it into an honorable 1v1 with the ultimate. TF doesn't really get to overload in the way that he'd like. Also, the gold card can get reflected back at you if it goes towards Mel. Now, Mel does not ever want to really do that much with the Blitzcrank hook. Sometimes you can bring Blitzcrank into your team, but often what happens is you reflect the hook back at Blitzcrank, he then just E's you and then ults you, and then he's still done the damage anyway, really.
It's not a great reflect choice. Start the hook this time lands. The heal comes on forward, and could be alright. Now turn it around. That's going to do a really good trade. There's the electrocute and the free headshot combo that we were talking about, and damage back is pretty significant.
That it is. Now, BLG are one of the best teams in the world at using Elise support. I think when they get a lane lead, which is starting to happen here, On walks around the map, and he starts getting tower gold. BLG like to feed turret plates and a little bit of tower gold over to the Elise, because Elise, even as support, if you get her towards 2 items, with something like a Protobell or a Storm Surge, even sometimes like the Zonyas, if you can get towards it, is still an Elise with those 2 items. Your base damages are so high that she can be very, very powerful, even in the support role.
Worth noting, by the way, that Shun pathed bot side, just doing the red side quadrant, then reset to go top side again. Want to be around in case craziness happen again. It isn't hit in the Elise lane. Wanted to shield that Ezreal, that Blitzcrank. Did mean that clear was a little slower here. It allowed Beidron to get an easy ward down. Will clear off himself on a Poppy, which he is pretty famous for. One of his more comfortable champions here and there. Even if, again, I've really seen him play in a month.
2 months.
Wow.
2 months into last play.
Wow.
Now, there was someone on... Hang on a second, Beidron. If he gets a wall stun here, it could be a problem. He's spotted on the sweeper, though. So that option removed.
Astute there. Shun wise with the sweeper. We'll begin to look forwards. The hook just wide on roaming here. I think we might have a bit of a fight.
Actually, Mike goes in from Shun. Gold card coming through.
Can't play the route over the wall, but hang on, there's a lot of damage on the Shun. Needs to back away. Not in range for the repel. JDG needs to run away and do so. No one dead, but flash is blown.
EDG getting away a little bit with one there. Hook on the tower!
Oh, flash away. Beidron gets out.
Wave is not in a great spot here from Scout, but that hook working out quite well for Dwar. Dwar, a player which came in to replay. Hang on a second, Shun uses the W first, needs to not dash into the W.
It's close, he missed the dark hit daggers!
And Shun goes down for first blood in Game 5 against his old team. The double daggers would have saved his life and potentially killed Beidron. Instead, misses them. Doesn't get the heal, doesn't get the damage. BLG walk away with a first blood onto the Neferi.
Important one that. It's been a very aggressive early game. Lots of trading, lots of looking for hooks and cocoons and invades. In the end, that very low HP bar trade went the way of Beidron and Knight. As Mel starting off with first blood, getting early dark seal stacks. Yeah, that one could suck.
It does. I haven't seen that much of Mel for a little while. We will have to figure out how she slots into this team composition a little later. But threatened here. That's why you picked the Elise instead of a Lux.
And again, Non's a specialist on it. You can just be a little bit more slippery, even if you are still down squishy as a champion.
So BLG, good early game start. This is what we've known from them. I will say this composition harder to pilot later, and that is a worry. This is not an obvious engage comp later, and even in last game where they had such an explosive lead, it's got a little risky for them around the Atacon. JDG will be preying on that now. They are behind a significant amount and we're against a very oppressive lane of the Caitlyn Elise. You see that the Mel outranges the Twisted Fate. You know, his Q can clear the wave a little bit, but he needs to walk up to finish off those minions. Scout is not going to feel that happy in this matchup. Does have the level 6, would love to be able to get across the map ASAP and start impacting things, but Knight's not going to give that to him easily.
Walks up here, has just transformed, so it'll be a little second or two here before they can turn. We'll
But the volatile spiraling to try and find out where Draw is. He's trying to stay wisely on the other side of the bushes. Swift repel there required.
And the least value into the Blitzcrank. That's why you don't pick the other range supports. It actually has a way to avoid that thing. Now, this is why we call that in draft, right? So you see the Caitlyn, you think, well, there's no Braum, there's no other kind of choice picks for Caitlyn. They're going to go towards double range. So let's pick the Blitzcrank. We're locking the Elise, double range counter. Off the Blitzcrank is a lot less valuable. First dragon of the game, going for BLG.
There's Cocoon land, shove into the wall, damage onto the Blitzcrank, who's gone! Gets hit by the hammer shot, and still got the steadfast presence to work with on. Essentially now in a spot of bother. The Keeper's Verdict being spun up as a defensive tool, but will be put on cooldown. Not a very long one, of course, because you didn't swing it.
BLG, first 2 kills of the game. Beichuan involved in both. In the first one, stroke of luck was needed this time. Nearly the same kind of close margins. Draw. This Blitzcrank has to get value. Now, Draw and Xiaoxu were the 2 players brought into JDG together. I suppose. No, Draw came in a little bit later, I suppose, at that point. JDG switching through into their 3rd support for this year. I think Xiaoxu was flourished on JDG. Draw, less so. Started with missing this year, went towards wing. Both of them had struggled, and I don't think Draw has been the solution, sadly, for JDG. No, they are still here in a game 5 versus BLG as a team which we thought would be outmatched, even with BLG's recent worries. Draw, if you can pull out a better game on the Blitzcrank, perhaps that can be righted for him. I don't know whether that's going to happen, though. Another hook misses.
When looking at Knight again, can be a bit awkward for the Blitzcrank, can end up hooking yourself into the enemy team, courtesy of Mel W, which can be somewhat problematic. But onto the grubs we go. JDG starting them up. Shun on the Neferi. Pretty swift at taking them on the whole.
And the double daggers keep you healthy while you're doing so as well. Well, double daggers is technically the desire skill. It's the Q.
Oh,
but
Darking Daggers.
Darking
sorry,
Daggers,
yes.
I just call them double daggers because you cast it twice.
Yeah.
And the second one's actually very important. So I'm just going to keep calling it that.
Did I call them double
No,
daggers?
I did. I just called them that. I'm calling myself out, Sam. I'm calling myself out on Twitter.
I thought I'd done it as well. I was thinking, no,
I'm here to make an announcement.
You said you still call Rocket Belt Proto Belt.
I
all
did
those
not,
years.
and I will still keep doing that. Proto Belt it was a one.
Tabis.
Yeah, again, wonderful. They never needed to change that stuff, Sam.
You don't say Raid Safe. You do say Raptors.
Ah, yeah. And sometimes I call Gromp White, very occasionally. So as you remember, Season 4 Spring, whatever it was, Samsung White, where the White was Faker when he was playing Kale.
Yeah,
very funny. Ulting towards mid lane.
We'll be able to potentially reflect something as a good soul as their value, but just not enough. Beichuan tries to save them with the Keeper's Verdict, but can't quite do it. Scout looking a little bit more, but won't find it. But that's a kill there onto the Mel.
It's nice. Gets a kill onto the Neferi too, who does need some gold to get rolling. This is the power of JDG's comp. That Twisted Fate, if they ever do get a good angle to go into an uneven numbered fight, makes it so easy for all of the extra skill shots to land afterwards. And Knight, jumped onto by so many people, couldn't find a good reflect. So going down.
Be back towards mid lane. Should be able to pick up that wave. Those Dark Seal stacks have, sadly for Knight, been lost. Still doing a fairly decent job of farming here, but we'll have a look at the replay. As Scout finds a Destiny, followed by a gate to ensure that Knight has a bad time.
You can't do that. You know that Scout's on reset. Scout is not on vision. Now, he was likely going towards bot lane, but still. Now, we will see. I mean, did bot lane lose another couple of plates because of this? I mean, I suppose so. Caitlyn able to take down one more plate, but it's still, that's not worth it. If you take down the whole turret, death in mid lane, I think that's fine, but it wasn't worth it outside of that. Knight, misread of the map.
And again, for all that Mel's W is very, very potent, it is a 30-second cooldown, guys. It is wind wall level cooldown. When it is down, you have got a wave to trade with, basically, if you want to time it out roughly. And Scout goes, cool, I have time now.
I got time, Mr. Incredible. Again, just to reflect again, that's some good poke down. Of course, Ezreal doesn't have sustain himself, so gets some value by reflecting some stuff there. The Twisted Fate ult. Being down from now gives you a window of time. Much like earlier in the series when you saw the knocked in Orianna from BLG in Game 3. Once that ultimate is down, you feel a lot more safe to go aggressive.
The early Hex drink of this game, by the way. He is into a Mordekaiser and the Mel, and the Elise, actually, for that matter, who will be building a bit of damage here as well with the Phoenix Codex and the Dark Seal. So, probably decent value for it. Will slow down that first item fight, which is pretty core to Yorik's ability to play the game.
Actually quite interested to see the full build from Bin. There has been some whisperings of Shojin onto Mordekaiser because there's an AD ratio on his Q now, and then you get the extra bonus damage from your passive as well, which is nice as heck.
See Shyvana.
Yeah. Very similar to that. Just get a ton of percent damage onto very high base damages. Dragon spawning in 20 seconds. JDG. Suppose they're looking for the next Twisted Fatal that's coming off the cooldown in the next 10 seconds. They can use that to pick someone off. That'll be very, very big. Workloading Elf does not have cleanse.
Oh, that's the hook combo we were talking about. Jor hooks himself and has to flash.
That's the power. Now, sometimes, I will say, sometimes that kills the Mel. Works out well here. Draw blows the flash. No ability to flash E now or flash ult to get that silence. Dragon supposes BLG's now with Draw not having flash and the waves not really being in a great position for JD to push and then enter River through the extended openings.
Collector first for the Caitlyn here as well, gone towards the Cull to really push the advantage where and when possible. Elk's going to look for another plate. Scout's going to turn up under this turret, but again doesn't have all that much CC. Just about out of range of the trap arming. He gets to flash out to safety.
Close run stuff. Dragon goes down. BLG starts to pull on. Bit of a full court press. They still have the Twisted Fate ultimate, but because Twisted Fate is in the Caitlyn's lane, he can't exactly do much in terms of shoving and roaming. I wonder whether JDG should really just look to get him out of that.
Into the wall with the heroic entrance over here, and now in danger, get hit by the hammer shock into the keeper's verdict, single target knockup. In danger, flash forwards, the repel comes on forward, the volatile bite, not quite enough, the heal from Jor keeps him alive. In comes the solar snare, and the radiant volley finishes up the blitzcrank.
And to add insult to injury, Scout ults out of the play, will not have that available for the next, 2 minutes or so. As BLG now get another window of time where they they don't have to pay respect to that Twisted Fate. This is a huge, game-changing moment for BLG. They'll take themselves an easy turret down here. They'll get Shun and Draw and Scout all off of the map, get some important cooldowns off of them as well, and BLG will get a ton of gold on the Caitlyn.
Good work there from BLG. Find themselves a 2,000 gold lead. Get that turret in, and a pause, apparently, is what they also earn.
Wonder who called that one. Don't have any information on that. We will get that to you as soon as we can. Now, I used to go by the
back into game.
Say goodbye to ourselves. And, you know, JDG have a good matchup with the BLG. On the whole, they did last split. And even in this split, when JDG was still not on great form, they did deal a lot of damage to BLG.
How was your piss? How was your piss? Did you enjoy it? How was your piss? That's great. So have you seen that's what they start chanting at UKEL and NLC when players go to toilet breaks?
I think it's a bit of a deep cut, but yes, I did see that. Yeah, they did chant that at Reckless, I believe it was, on the returns. Alright, back into game as I guess we had a bit of a toilet break. Keep hydrated. Yourselves, hang on a second. Thank you very much. I think basically On is the saying, if a skill shot flies at me from Fog of War, I'm dodging immediately.
That's the one. That's the plan. Choked him first before the Nefiri, by the way. Rower for Scout. While there, we're going towards a rapid fire for Elk to really just hammer home the early advantages. I want to be able to hit people as consistently as possible to abuse Collector for as long as possible. And in fairness, I'm not really seeing anyone here who's going to build much more than steel caps, if that even this game, because lots of people feel obligated into Merc Treads.
I know a lot of people really don't, in terms of Caitlyn mains, really don't like rapid fire cam because it gives you that mid-game fall off until you hit like really realistically 4 items at some points too. But the utility it gives you in terms of the extra move speed from building a Zeal. Also, by the way, I think Elk should actually go towards either Merc Treads or Swifties in this game. I think you really need something a little bit more mobility or defensive. But yeah, it does give you an extra bit of range to play around, something like the Twisted Fate. Of course, we're going to also rapid fire himself at some point. And of course, outranging a little bit more on some of these longer range champions.
On has just not been hit by a hook, it feels like this game has been very, very on it. Has always been a master of those Elise mechanics.
I remember Mel was banned in LCK, LPL did not ban it. No, it was banned globally, and now the bug has been resolved, so it is available. Showmaker, in fact, played it in the LCK, so it was available there too. Herald started. Is there going to be a good enough hook from the Blitzcrank?
Snare went wide, gold card locked in. Scout with the decent angle, coming with the ghost. Good turnaround with the house.
He didn't shield!
Shield! Now Mel goes down. Herald secured in the charge of the Wolverine. The likely Xiaoxu goes down. Last fight's not enough. On low, but not dead. Gets chunked out low. Shun tries to find an eviscerate forward. Two-shot approaches. What?
The Q misses!
Oh, just about alive. He gets out safely. All the while, Jaw goes down to Elk's shot from the sniper.
2 for 1 as Knight does not reflect the gold card, which means he's stunned and so easy to pick off. Very surprised that On lived there. Ult through from Scout, another gold card.
Does get the gold card barrier, is there for a second, flashes to find some space, tries to get in range for base run, but he can't get there in time, and Jaw will not be, sorry, Hayes will flash forward to secure it, not wise for about Hayes as he goes looking for a Mystic Shot and gets away with it.
Close run stuff. Baitron just about making it out alive. The Twisted Fate ultimates are so threatening for BLG unless they're already deathballed up. Twice now we've seen Scout fly into the mid lane after another player's been made, capitalizing on someone out of position. Grand total of that fight, how many kills came through? Was it 2, 3 for 1 maybe, I guess, if you count Elk as part of that? And then the Herald was secured by BLG. Bin flashed forward to make sure that, oh my god, because Bin flashes forward, he can't body block the hook. I guess anyone getting hooked is bad here, right? But what happens after this point is On just about makes it out alive here as he jumps up into the sky. Ezreal just about misses, and then Scout, I think he should have just held his Q a little longer. The Q was, his W was on target. Would have been able to kill with the Q after that point. Sadly not able to take down the Spider.
Nice pick up Elk at the end of it because his flash, Hayes for flash in turn makes him vulnerable enough. Still a big lead for Elk to cash in the Cull, but because of the death means he doesn't actually extend his gold lead, especially. 1300 gold is a big differential right now in the AD carries. Elk doing a has gone the fleet footwork as well, just to ensure that health total remains high. Herald doesn't get the charge, interrupted on repeat.
It does.
Dragon goes down, hook lands onto Knight, who again reflects late. Solar Snare just wide and goes the Hound's Pursuit. Knight will die with the turret flash out from Shun. That's not pretty from the mid laner of BLG.
Oh, it's not, and now that means that BLG have to peel off the Dragon. Knight, his reflex have been so poorly timed. The Mel, it's only the second time we've seen it since her bug has been resolved. BLG, do they still want to contest this Dragon? The leash is gone.
Duo gets into a difficult position. Flash on forward from Scout, gets hit by the Obliterate, taken into the Death Realm. Elk still trying to back away, but does not have a flashes on. In the front line will repel. Phase 1 hope, but I don't think he's the one you want to hit. Trying to charge the wall, but Pays swift enough with that Mystic Shove above across the wall. Gets out alive. Shout, you can't get the kill with the last right. So Phase 1 gets to back away.
Scout!
All the while, Scout to the back. I can't kill Elk, who needs to heal. Courtesy is sure to get out to safety. Been caught in a 1v4 is scary, but maybe not scary enough. The darkness is rising, but is swiftly shut off with the light from Pays.
With the... Oh, hang on a second. Caitlyn ult's not going to go on to Scout. Gets blocked by Xiaoshu. I think it was actually just onto him in general. Stops the recall, importantly, from Xiaoshu, which means it'll be later on to the map.
Oh my god.
Elk lives as well. Everyone's just throwing skill shots after the resets have been channeled. Ends up being a remarkably even fight. Again, Herald was stopped. We thought, okay, well, that will be the end of things. Flash, though, for the silence. Hook comes through, and Knight did have a brief moment where he could have reflected it. The silence did wear off, didn't quite get the timing. And health gets brought low enough by the Ezreal ultimate. Shouldn't finish it off. So you're playing without a mid laner. You have lost a lot of HP, though. So BLG think, well, maybe we can look for this fight, especially with the Mordekaiser being a pretty good point of power now.
Picture in picture, Knight just killed off Jaw. That's potentially very significant. Shun now in danger as well, down about half HP base, but in the front line, Scout with the gold card enabled. Dark Possession pins Elk in
Damage
place.
from Pays. He's getting a lot of damage from these Qs. They're down as support, but on being low HP too means that it's not completely BLG-sided. Pays, not quite at the 2-item combat, hasn't completed the Muramana just yet. Dragon going down.
Dragon comes on out on very low as Xiaoshu lands the Morning Mist. Down to half HP on the Dragon. Shun over the wall, available to eviscerate into the back, and we'll have a Hound's Pursuit angle as
Mordekaiser
well.
ult in 5.
Gonna get the Dragon in base one nonetheless. Scout now in danger at the other side of it. Been caught inside the Dark Possession will return himself to the Death Realm. Stay alive for now. Knight being sucked by that Maiden. Obliterate goes wild. Out comes the exhaust. Pays looking for an angle with the Mystic Shots and goes down. Does Scout. Courtesy of Elk. Shun trades that onto Bin. Solus there across the Maiden. And Duo looking for the hook. Can't quite land it. BLG gets Soul Point and a 1-for-1.
And it's an Ocean Soul Rift too. I think it is the kind of soul which can actually change the game. Mordekaiser can take someone into the 1v1 with an Ocean Soul and regen up in the 1v1. Elk looking for the kill. Gonna get body blocked out by Xiaoshu. Good damage from Elk all the same. BLG playing thin margin fights. I'm not really sure who's out. I suppose BLG are the ones which come off the better of this.
They get Soul Point, yeah.
The Soul Point, but the fights themselves are really spooky. Pays is going to get Muramana on this back. And that's going to be very, very scary for BLG. At least I believe he will do as well, unless he had it just... Yeah,
there it is.
Just there now. And we're getting towards Atakan, BLG's grievous enemy. Their greatest enemy. Their nemesis. BLG, they are meant to get early game leads with this comp, especially with the Caitlyn. The Caitlyn is ahead and does have the 2-item spike. JDG do have 2 items on the Twisted Fate, and the Twisted Fate ultimates are going to be so crucial for JDG to use well. Every time that they've ended up going onto an isolated target, it's given a good lead over to JDG.
Quick note here as well. Now you've got a Lich Bane for Scout. Xiaoshu's got himself towards the Trinity Force. You've got 3 grubs. Your side lane,
That's
your
true.
ability to threaten turrets, not just collapse, can be pretty scary this game.
Did it on spots out sure on the ward and with the spider leg as well. Ward's getting cleared away. Over the wall. Nice there. Pays again has that 2-item spike. His damage was good before. It's getting even better now. You just talk about those grubs. Scout using that on top. But doesn't have teleport. Does have spellbook to be switched towards it. They might just give it up.
Give that up, and that'll be risky. Pays down by about a third. Got chunked out before getting over here. The traps come down. In comes the Destiny Gate. Trying to find an angle into this. Atakan bit have yet to do so as the bodies are being blocked out. Pays in danger as Elk goes looking for the boom. Headshot as the Explorer from Piltover meets the Sheriff. You can't have that for your museum. It's illegal.
Pays is chunked out by his own ultimate reflected back at him, and Elk capitalizes. He steps on a trap in the brush. Pays with such an important item spike is not able to use it at all. Scout will be able to stick around in topside and at least get some damage there on the turret, but Atakan went over to BLG. They'll get themselves a notable advantage from that, and JDG's use of the ultimate also doesn't get them that much from the Twisted Fate either. We saw right here, the ultimate gets reflected. Knight pings it back, does take the damage first, but look how much damage it ends up doing. It's a little bit on that. Not actually as much, because it does only do a percentage of it, and then gets caught with this trap here. It's the first step into the brush. You can't see that beforehand. Elk then flashes forwards with the E as well. Kills him off.
That's very clean mechanics from Elk. Q, flash, auto. Can't ask for much better on that one. Properly max range. Sometimes rapid fire does yourself some value. 4-1 now.
I'm so glad that this is the game we don't have a crushing lead. Game 5s in Fearless Draft have often been very one-sided because one team just doesn't have the champion pools to make it through the rest of the game. This is not that case now. I think both teams have awkward drafts to an extent, but both are competitive. We see no early game leads, which are crushing the game, I don't think. It means that we actually have a competitive game fight. This is not elimination. The loser goes down into lower bracket, but JDG would not have been expected to take this series. Not by us, not by many people. Yes, they have a good matchup into BLG, as we've mentioned in earlier games. JDG here on great form today to push BLG 2-5. Realistically, could have seen it as 3-0. BLG subbed in Beitron unexpectedly. He hadn't played for BLG in 2 months. Coming back now, perhaps stabilizing them just for this series.
3-2 right now on this. Neferi could end up being a bit of an X-Factor carry here. You've got enough setup between gold cards and hooks to make sure that your Hound's Pursuit dives get very scary indeed. Those Darkened Daggers, can't find them there. 40 seconds until Soul. Keep your eyes on it, JDG in danger. Blast with a heroic charge! And Joe's down. In comes the Destiny Gate. What about the turnaround? Are they going to find a potential angle in? No, Scout is topside looking to take out this turret.
But this is the problem. You've given up Dragon setup. 30 seconds until that. Scout might get the inner turret, but giving up an Ocean Soul feels very, very risky. Mid lane turret will go down in favor of BLG, so it's trade for trade. Mid outer for top inner. Scout will recall. He will not have his ultimate for the fight in 20 seconds. JDG, they got to scramble for the setup here. BLG, I think they're in a great advantage now to potentially get themselves that big Uber buff.
Full rapid fire cannon just picked up by Scout. It's got Ghost, it's got Cleanse.
Important. That is really important. The Ghost can help you chase down for a second and third gold card. Draw back out from the Spellbook teleport as well. Towards getting swept out. Scout has the fire cannon. It's hell not used by...
The red card for a bit more damage. So looking to eviscerate forward for Darkened Daggers, misses both. Queen also wide. It is JDG managed to force the way into the river. Beitron finding another angle in. Blast cone to the other side, but that banana bush, that mid lane extended bush. Pretty dangerous flash. Oh, doesn't matter as Knight's in danger. Guns a massive Solus there, but again, Knight is caught.
The ult gets through from the Ezreal. The fire cannon loaded up again. BLG, they had the time to set up around the dragon, but they backed up too far. JDG, a man advantage for the next 30 seconds. Can they secure the dragon? Bin can still flash ult the Neferi out of smite.
Oh, he just gets gold carded. The rapid fire value is too much. We'll go into the death realm. Hang on, Joe in the back of it. Going low. Soul was still taken by Beitron. And they're going to kill off the Neferi. It's a 4v5, but it means nothing. Hazon gets out with the repel and the flash. And BLG make out like bandits.
How do they do it? BLG, they were threatening the Mordekaiser ult onto the smite. I don't even think that's what happened. I think he has to take Draw into there instead. And it meant that it was a straight smite fight. One which Beitron, the maligned, the exiled jungler, wins. BLG bring back Beitron unexpectedly after poor showing after health issues on his shoulder. Comes back in, potentially securing themselves the smite, which could see them into the advantage of this game. They should have lost that fight. Knight going down so easily. The Mordekaiser's still on the board. Baron now up and available. JDG, are they in range to contest? I don't think they are.
Another rebuttal comes on through. The True Shot Barrage flings back onto Jor. Scout gonna go in, looking to find an angle behind it. Does have smite and flash being thing run up by on flash over the wall from Bin, who's got Hexblade, so he can make sure and put Scout into the death realm. Beitron gets a hold of the Baron, but what about that fight afterwards? Xiaoshu jumped into a wall, Solus thereafter. Radiant Volley executed by Elk. Looking to get another rebuttal down. The damage back is pretty damn nasty as Beitron with the steadfast presence making sure can go nowhere. The only thing eviscerated is the doggo taken down. And now Pay's trying to find angles, Mystic Shots and Essence Fluxes go wide, landing a Q or two that means nothing in the grand scheme of things. A Scout in danger, Beitron heroic charging forward, the Cocoon just wide. Scout has got a flash in a dream right now, needs to find a good gold card, slowed by the smite. Up into the air, on goes to repel, Cocoon, and not quite into the wall. Scout keeps running, but the Rod of Ages has run out of time. It is a calendar made by the Mayans, and it has ticked over to a BLG apocalypse.
BLG somehow clutching and flush towards the ult channel. Ace in the hole, Pays a hole in the ground.
That's the one they're looking for. Let's blow this kid and get on home. Elk finds the shot he's looking for. 9, 1, and 2. The Caitlyn game 5, the Elise game 5 have been so oppressive.
BLG looking to reverse sweep. They could actually do it here. Ocean Soul, Baron buff ticking over. JDG, they are down their carries and their support until just now. Draw alive. BLG looking to reverse sweep.
whatever their troubles, whatever their problems, however many junglers they switch in and out and in again, Billy Gaming will never, ever be counted out freely. They are too crazy, too interesting, too damn good at their hand game. The mechanics fire and a reverse sweep for Billy. Hands diff in the team fights. They've got it. Cameras away. Gyos to come. Game 1 of Invictus Gaming versus EDG coming right up. It's a full arena out there. The IG fans are out in force. The most popular team in the LPL right now, with the most storied veteran squads, I think, in the world. The amount of international and regional success found on this roster over so many years is phenomenal. Multiple world champions, multiple MSI champions, never mind LPL regional champions. A replay here. What happened in the back corner? Ah, that's where his flash went. Palkia with an early crash down over the wall, caught Rookie out. Now we go towards bot side. Heal from Mako, flash from Palkia. Turn around with the ignite as well. Doesn't get up to everything they're looking for. Palkia now in danger. We'll have a mount up shortly. The passives come roaring out. That'll be health pots traded largely in IG's favor. Eats a bit of a Cathian rain there. That will be a bit problematic. Way on vision, it's Glizzy Neferi. They know where they are. Trundle right now has managed to get off a nasty invade. Nabs Gromp, Nabs Blue, leaves way out to dry. Can theoretically now flex back towards that blue buff on the other side and try and fight over there. He's got lane priority from his bot lane. He's going to know now. All right, what is Wei going to do? I think you just have to eviscerate over and then straight over to that blue buff. Is blast coning over. And there's that replay flash to make it happen. I think you could fight blue buff here. Reset's coming on through, though. Ah, this is really good reset timing from Palkia, because what it means is we'll roam through towards the Trundle here. No doubt. Watch where Palkia go, because they will come on over. Palkia actually cancelled the reset. But on come on over. Here in inventory. Way around and about. We'll know that Shadowhouse doesn't know where the Rel is. Blast cone over. There comes Palkia crashing on down. Flash from Angel. Doesn't get as much value as he was hoping for. Still gets the kill onto Mako. This is good from EDG. Take on the blue buff from Wei. So at least gets the buff he was looking for. But the kill goes the way of EDG. And no ward for that bush in the blue buff means that Palkia comes out of fog thinking he'd reset. And he very much hadn't. Scuttle Crab secured. TP back in from Angel. May actually put Wei into a tricky spot. He's going to reset here. And try and get towards that top side Scuttle Crab. Mako's already roaming over. Turning into the Neferi to pretend he's a jungler. They've also lane swapped with it. Yeah, waves come crashing in. Shy to TP towards his bot side. Pick up the majority of the wave. We'll lose a couple minions. Maybe 2. Yeah, 2 melee's gone. Oh, maybe 3. Oh my days, loses 4 minions. Yeah, that one kind of sucks a bit. Still. We'll earn the Fury that second Scuttle Crab. Okay, now look at ZDZ. The session comes on down. Has to flash the Tangle Barbs. Everyone is here, though. EDG with a 4-man collapse. No TP from Rookie. No TP from the Shy. Good call of the patch from Wei to deny the engage from Palkia. Ignite comes on down. Delayed reset from ZDZ, though. And we get ourselves a pause. It's the Shy who appears to have caused the trouble. No idea what this one is. Very aggressive music. Having fun with that one. Today of all days, the pause, I know. We've had 2 pauses today. No idea what the issue is. Hopefully it's resolved shortly. We're back in the game. In swift order. Anyone checked in on the stream? I'm right here. Hello. That's just on the music. It's got a weird alert sound. Who will win? Theoretically, Invictus Gaming with EDG have been pretty up to par in the early game. And some really good back and forth jungle decision making. Issues with make. Okay. So it wasn't the Shy, it was Make who was causing the issue. Sorry. What do you mean English, please? Grew up in Nottingham. I'm speaking English.
Good grief, DK.
But onto the rift we go. We're back. Back again. Let's look at the win rate. First, Yorick for ZDZ this split. Interesting. That's been such a force for EDG in that part. I'm surprised he didn't look towards the Yorick at all. Either way, the Shy has been very happy to run the Aurora into him. Has been a bit of a Shy special, has the Aurora. Very much a flex. Void Seeker wide his arm. Valkyrie's out to safety. Wait, clearing his 3rd Raptor camp of the game. Clotted cream, Jay, for the record on scones. Not just cream, clotted cream is a requirement. Chow House bot side, CDZ with the Maiden up. This gets a bit dicey. Way now coming on down. The Shy will need to be where we get this across the bell. The pillar comes on down, trying to go towards the push here. So let's go between worlds and does so. Back to the other side, getting a decent chunk. ZDZ now not in a great spot as Way goes on forwards. Gets out of the dark possession. Chow House still bonking well. And actually the damage back is brutal. Way's in danger. Does have the flash, doesn't need the proc. Oh my days. Turnaround damage from Trundle and the Maiden is scary indeed. Shy gets to stick in the lane. Doesn't have a lot of mana is part of the issue here. 2-fold Hex. Doesn't quite kill the Maiden. And resets will come on through in general. Way will be able to pick up his health bar here. Off the Crux reset. Rookie now clearing out some wards. I would have flashed. Oh god, yeah. Same here. At least IG can't pick the Fury again. Isn't it true? We'll see how it looks. So far, IG with good early lanes. Particularly slight leads here for the Kai'Sa off that lane swap. The Rookie for the Aurora. Stuff, but ZDZ does get to play it in a Demolish proc here. The Shy being forced to reset. And ZDZ starting the TP, so it gets double plates there. Nice for that. Wait. Should be able to bark at the Skull Crab a little bit more. Sausage meat. Love to see a Kiana. I mean, it's a possibility, isn't it? Navi's certainly been willing to pull it out and look fantastic on it. Tien as well.
Wei should pick up this red buff. Does so. Xiaohao losing some of this priority of allowing Mako to come invade. With the jungler. Proving to be a bit annoying. And Wei's to be able to start up the grubs, which is valuable here. Giving Yorick grubs would be tricky. Giving Trundle grubs, even from the jungle, not great. Azir is a good grub abuser himself. Aurora not bad as well because of all of her mobility. Give her a bit more potency when she hits the tower. She feels very strong indeed. Grub number 1 secured. I'm thinking jungler's over here. So will likely be grubs for dragon being traded. As you can see, the Trundle starting up the dragon on the other side. Spotted out and pinged out by the shot. Blooming burst onto Arn, who did not enjoy the comet on top of all of that. Wei. Got a Hound's Pursuit. Palkia's going to be left alone under this turret, and you've got a Nico. She can turn into a cannon. She can turn into a dog, I suppose, in this case. Can't quite find the dive. Not willing to overforce it. No, what, back cancelled again. Oh, now this gets interesting. Watch the Corki come on up. Mako, is he going to turn into a cannon? Got the level 6. There's the cannon. Takes the aggro. Crash down, flash away. Palkia in danger. Hound's Pursuit. And blown up. Wei needs to go. Invulnerable. With the call of the pack, and the dive is pulled off successfully. A couple flashes blown. But no matter. As IG make the dive happen, and Palkia left alone under that turret is swiftly punished. Nico using that cannon form, increasingly common here in the LPL. It was a trick that felt a little bit niche for the longest time when Nico was meta as a support. Kind of coming back in and there when we are seeing the Nico still. Outside the Shy was under a mild bit of threat, sort of being respectful of that turret. Rookie. Not really been about the mid laner so far this game. They'll note again. Weaver's wall's been up for a bit, and Angel really found an angle out of the wall. Aeon will need to Valkyrie back as the Shy TP'd in. Did not want to get caught in a between worlds combo. Between worlds, twofold hex, weirding, twofold hex part 2. Ooh, just about expands to cancel the back. I mean, another wave crash. ZDZ is here. Now the Shy. May need to be a bit wary. Morning Mist goes white. Still got the across the veil. Gets hit by the last rites. Will be able to go across the Dark Procession, but can't get the wave shoved in the way I think he was hoping for. Mako now may be in danger. No. Even with a full tilt, Palkia can't get in range. Go get some sleep. Or get some hot chocolate. Oh yeah, you're staying up for the F1, aren't you, Trinity? Go sort yourself out. ZDZ will get themselves another plate or 2 here. Ooh, make that 2. Nice chunk. Even without the grubs. Still solid damage there. Aurora with the CS lead, but the plates do disappear in short order. And the Yorick's left alone with them. Too much happening right now. Got a couple minutes until our next objectives, namely Dragon into Herald a minute or so after that. Cole about to get cashed in here for Gala, who is very ahead of this Corki. Actually, has 2 games today. We've seen this Kai'Sa Corki matchup. Again, supports have been different. That does change things slightly, but still. Cole cashing, Kraken Slayer done. This Kai'Sa is going to come online really aggressively here. A lot of attention from Xiaohao crew towards ZDZ in particular to try and get him something over the Shy. Only a couple hundred gold, and the farm lead's still good for the Shy, so despite the plates, isn't exactly huge, but Hayes keeping him in the game. Xiaohao now in danger. Tangle Barbs land. Half Blossom comes on down, only really onto 1, and Mako will die. Palkia just about surviving. Has the shoot at the backside. Magnet Storm, shove away. Wei needs to call the pack. ZDZ now getting on over, managed to eviscerate back as Rookie. pulls the Emperor's Divine, the flash required from Gala. As EDG just have more members there because the Shy doesn't join. And they get the reset off. I don't think they can. Oh, this gets dicey. Oh, boy. I think Rookie might be dead here. There's a bonk available and things get tricky. ZDZ starts tanking turret. Wave comes crashing. Rookie in danger. Wave throws out the Darking Daggers. Gets a decent heal. Can still look to call the pack. Eviscerates can't do it. Angel in danger. Eats another turret shot. Turret's in dangerous indeed. Trying to get the heal. Not quite up at bottom of the turret. Makes it at least one back. Double for Angel. Mako manages to help at least get one, and the Shy has had 3, I think, waves, 3 topside. Ooh, crash down. Mako's dead. Nice play from Palkia. That's still going to be 4 plates to the Shy. Just before they all fall, and 3 grubs. That could be significant. No one's going to get here. This is just first turret to IG. Huh. So, 3 for 1 in terms of the kills, because you got that extra kill into Mako at the end. However, first turret on 4 plates goes the way of IG. Ends up being probably gold-wise slightly more valuable to IG. Just about. I'm not actually sure. Either way, they do get that marker towards feats of strength. Kills have gone EDG's way, so really it is now all about those next 2 objective takes. Have a look at the replay here. So Wei cancels his recall, tries to play this one out. He's got a red buff getting some regen. Tries to buy some time, gets hit by the last rights. Doesn't have time to get a call of the pack down. Angel flashes out. Rookie gets a decent amount of damage down. Can't quite kill Xiaohao. Mako flashed for the heal. It wasn't quite enough. ZDZ is still lost. Dragon was picked up by IG. Palkia has to crash down away. Mako looking for those tangle barbs. Can't find it. Angel here versus the Shy. The Shy trying to clear out the way. Will land a weirding there on the Angel. Goes between worlds. Clears out the way from the 2-fold Hex after into the Electrocute. Who's TPing out. Back to base. Does mean he will not be around for this Herald. 4v5 guaranteed. Weaver's Wall potentially could change that, of course, up in a couple seconds. But with that force back on Angel, this will be another objective. And therefore, the feats of strength to IG, who have Wei take Dragon and roam up to help take Herald after. We'll have a full quadrant to scour his way through to keep up in the farm as well. Shy maybe looking to catch out Angel here. Won't do so. Showing off Angel's 100% kill participation right now. That's the Ghost proc from Palkia, who has used that one courtesy of Spellbook. Flash caught out by the Magnet Storm, and the Shy is dead. Stay too long. Weaver's Wall goes from Palkia, gets him into lane, and the Shy dies, and that will surely be turret topside for EDG as a result. Nice play from EDG. Gets them a minor gold lead here. 4-0-2 now for Angel on this Talia. And EDG, the upstarts. The demons from Nirvana. Little ironic, really. Once one of the absolute greats of the LPL, have been in dire straits of late. But there were rumors, weren't there, of how good this team was looking in scrims, of how they performed in Nirvana, were categorically the best team down there. Somewhat ironically, or ironically, somewhat unironically, looking very dangerous. Only lost the 1 series, I think it was down there, but very close to an undefeated streak. IG, no strangers to maybe falling behind 1 or 2 kills in the mid game. Tried very aggressively for resources. We come into a mid game that's pretty damn even. Feats of strength to IG, Malfold lead to EDG. We said this should be an IG clean sweep. They look deadly. Very, very dangerous. Top 2 was happily secured by them. Oh, hang on. Interrupt on Palkia. He's not going to flash. I think he might be in danger here. Hound's Pursuit tries to get at something there with the mount up and the Shadow Trap, but it's just going to die. Nice pickup. Hound's Pursuit resets.
Well, he's not going to take it. This is the one that picks up that kill. I force Angel back off this turret. And Rookie with the Nash's Tooth and 3 grubs should just destroy this turret in very short order indeed. Nice little pick off there between objectives. Away being donated a fair amount of this gold. Resets, Rookie gets it. What was that? Thunder Phage and a Kindle Gem. Okay. Well, that's rude, VCS trash. Unnecessarily. Goodbye. Nice pickup. Ironic considering the yapping coming from you in chat. There we go. Be gone. Minute till dragon. IG looking to make sure off these resets. They are out in 4. Second item's largely coming through here. Rageblade done for Kai'Sa, who's got the Cull Cash a little while ago. Ryalize and Nashers in for the Azir. Lots of zone control now on a team that is relatively short range. Accepting the Talia. Not quite the Muramana transformation for Arn. Note that. 2 items for Angel, who is very fed himself. The Pillar will deny the charge. It will prevent EDG from being in the river right now. We'll get that charge down, actually, on second time of asking. Dragon, though, all the while being rushed down while the Herald was being a distraction. Well secured. Way goes eviscerating over the wall. Dark and Dagger's thrown. Atakan now being started. Hang on. Arn coming along. Let's get a bit flippy. Where is Angel? Where is Xiaohao? Got Flash. Good look to get in here. Was a flip down at 4k HP. The Shy's TP'd in, looking for between worlds. Weaver's wall now coming across. It's been a bit of a leash. Rookie goes looking. Gets on the ZDZ. The Shy between worlds forces Xiao to a difficult position. Pop Blossom. Kai'Sa popping off. ZDZ down. The Shy forcing Xiao to back away. Valky goes in with the magnet. Always pretty good, but not enough. Shy's big shove is solid. Turns around. A double kill back for Arn. Now it's 2 for 2 into the backline with the call of the pack. And the Hound's pursuit available for Wei. Arn down low. Will Valkyrie out. HP bars low. Atakan still aggroed onto IG. Way low. Eviscerating away. Has to flash. Seismic shove now wide. Angel just wide of the weirding. Threaded volley. Danger at Cathian Rain. Doing a lot of work, but now Gara 1v3. Back into the back with the killer instinct flash on out. He's just better. Looking at the Angel. Who's throwing on it now with the shiny volley. Gets the trundle. Can't get Angel. But my God, Gala. That's why he's the king of Kai'Sa. In a 1v3. In a 1v3. Just takes down casually nearly the whole team. Rookie starts it off with a nice catch onto ZDZ, who is immediately popped. Shy on the other side, make sure that Xiaohao can't just run at the Atakan. He's forced to back away. Palkia does get in here. It's a decent Magnet Storm, sets up for a good double-sided shove. And Arm gets value. Then it gets a bit dicier. Wei goes in, trying to finish off Xiaohao. Can't quite get it. Ends up then a little bit trapped as he gets hit by the pillar, falls the pack, flashes out and does stay safe from it. And then watch Gala here. As Angel looks to the Shy and flashes out. And Gala, wonderful killer instinct, barrier flash. Xiaohao, his ankle's broken. And then just gets the auto range for Angel. Sorry, make that Xiaohao. Angel just about survived as well, but my God, Gala. Atakan picked up now on the reset from Invictus Gaming. There's the swing they were looking for. If you're wondering why We've all been going, man, IG are looking like they might be making worlds. It's plays like this. The clutch from this team is incredible. No CC, no problem, because we can just find our own ways to do the stunts. Raw damage and mobility does it for you. Bit of scouting there from the shapeshifter, Gala. And Gala Azil. More move speed, more attack speed. Phantom Dancer fully completed. He's an item ahead. Gala has permission to glide. Next dragon's a minute and a half. We're going to start seeing resets in the next 20 to 30 seconds or so. And a setup for IG around that one. May look to push for this mid lane tier 1. They do have that opportunity to. Gala in particular, with that reset, does not need to leave. Can look to just maintain control of the mid lane. No flash. We'll have barrier. We'll have killer instinct. Worth noting, EDG here won't have a lot of their flashes up either. In fact, none of them will have flash up. Some of them will be shortly up. I'm looking at ZDZ. Maybe within the time frame will be up. There's Gala looking at that turret. Palkia with the Hex Flash threatening. We'll make sure that doesn't quite happen. The Cathian Rain combo. Can't quite land the Void Seeker after Arn with the Gatling gun on the Force Bomb. Has just enough wave clear. But again, with 4 members under this turret, they're not getting wards down. They're not taking control of this river. Way now on a flank angle as EDG see next to nothing. Beyond that soul control ward there, just to the right of the mid lane turret, there is 2 autos off there, something like that. This should be it on the clear in. There we go, turret down, and I have no doubt the Sun Disc will be following. Proper development from Azir. In goes Palkia, it's a good shove! Way is dead. Palkia traded, but you just lost his smite. Nice engage. Into the backline goes ZDZ, though. He is very alone. Oh, boy. Yeah, I think Yorick might be dead. Kai'Sa gets a passive off. Brings down ZDZ. Baron's up, and they say, yeah, you can take Dragon if you want. How about Baron? How you feel about that one? Angel. Xiao Hao just off vision. Can't land the seismic shove. The bait goes wrong. EDG panic a little bit once they see where IG were threatening and don't get Dragon. And despite getting the pick on to wait, they lose tier 1 mid, lose 2, and lose Dragon. Solid work from them. It's a good engagement Palkia, honestly. Pillar into that. Nice little combo, but a good flash out means that Mako doesn't die. He doesn't go down. Palkia gets traded. And the TP is all well and good, assuming that ZDZ has support coming. But despite a rapid TP, it's matched. And the rest of the team just isn't in the position to follow after the engage doesn't go as cleanly as they were hoping for. And now Baron is a possibility, and you do have a 3-item Kai'Sa, a Liandry's Aurora, and an Azir. Hell, even an Neferi with the Dark and Daggers does a lot of monster bleed. You've just got damage out the wazoo. Palkia has that Celestial opposition broken. EDG making sure they have some control over the Baron. There's control in the back there for EDG. Got 1 ward. You see just near IG's tier 1 mid. That's a potential teleport angle. Mako in the guise of Gala stepping on forward. Palkia into that wall. Hex Flash angle. Does go looking for it. I don't know about the Palkia. That's a rookie mistake. We'll go back and trade it onto Mako, actually, courtesy of a good seismic shove. So you know what? 1 for 1 isn't as bad as it could have been. Weaver's Wall. Gala now potentially in danger. Seismic Shove doesn't quite land. Way in danger, but not down. Dark Procession for Rookie, but he just stands and delivers just fine. Shuffles away to get the shield. Shy looking between worlds, getting a chunk onto the Maiden. Can't kill it, but will burn it. Back towards Baron we go. No engage option here. I don't think Mako is expected to get popped quite that easy, but the Talia lands a Seismic Shove, you just get blasted between that and a Pulse Bomb. Xiaohao around, does have Flash. IG maybe need to think about that one again. The health bars aren't great. This could end up being a bit of a bait. Wayne needs to eviscerate. Wayne does so. Good call of the pack. And sure, the Seismic Shove goes wide. ZDZ hit by the Dark. The Tangle Barbs as he throws down the Dark Perception. Who's got top tier 2 and Yorick gets the local gold? Yeah, because it's an ability that does it. So yes, you get the local gold on that. Rookie of the split playing against actual Rookie. Unfortunately, Palkia, Rookie's got a few years experience on being Rookie over you. May have won a world championship. When did Rookie start? Was it Season 3, Season 4? 11 or 12 years of experience at this point. Jeez. Baron started. IG onto it. Gorik's not here. Last cone. It's going to be an angle. Still got a flash. Mako dodges the Seismic Shove. Over the wall goes the Shy between worlds. Angel low. Hit by the weirding. Burn to the backhand as the Shy goes to the other side of it. Does go down. But Baron's taken all the while. Shao tried to flash on him, but wasn't quite in time. Distraction successful. Angel low. Call of the pack. And the Hound's Pursuit used by ZDZ eviscerates out of the Dark Procession. Palkia goes flashing on in. Doesn't find as much balance as I think he was hoping for. It was a clone all along. Palkia dies. ZDZ flashing away, throws out a Dark Procession. But Gala's killer instinct is enough to bring down the Undertaker, who in 1988 was thrown 16 feet off Hell in a Cell through the announcer's table. Got him. Towards the Baron we go. A Mountain Soul will be the prize of it. Drake in the pit. And man oh man, TNTs go down. The Shy gets quite a lot of damn value there. Sheesh. Xiao flashed in. It was nearly on time, you know. His smite was on cooldown there. I'm putting that out there. W goes wide. Palkia and Gala from Rookie. Immediate flash away. Did the Undertaker use a shovel? Well, I don't know about that. I'm saying Yorick is an Undertaker. And therefore, we went that route as a result. Angel getting hit a bit there. Dark and daggers come on through. Way gonna call the pack. Got to slip out of dodge there just fine. 7, 1, and 4 now for Gala. Got a GA on top of everything else. Morellonomicon done for Mako. In the picture-in-picture, Yorick trying to find value elsewhere. ZDC should claim that tier 2. Not bad into the Baron, getting what you can where you can. Realistically, an inhibitor will be under threat shortly. The Shy's been sent back to match that.
Got a TP. ZDZ does not. 3-1 shove as Azir shoving through mid. Rookie gets a chunk here. He's got the Sundisk behind him. Harder to flank now. And that tier 3 just disappeared under the force of Rookie's autos. 3 grubs power showing itself here. Inhibitor exposed in mid lane. Top lane turret now under siege as Gala gets a step on forwards. Inhibitor down as well. What do you have, EDG? You need to find something soon. The Shy begins to shove up that bot side, getting it further back. Goes pop by Palculus to switch into something a bit more aggressive. Killer comes on down, but again, you can throw as many men at work signs as you like. Unfortunately for you, IG, you're a bit bigger than a pothole. I think a lot more gold to fill in this deficit, this trough you're in. That engaged onto Mako, not bad. They blow that up again. Going 1-for-1 as your support is not good enough. Angel in threat as Wave finds them. Congratulations, you found Mako. Is that really the best you could do with the flash engage? As Angel goes golden, denies the house pursuit. How low between worlds for Shy. Shotguns another in the face. And EDG are blown apart under their own Nexus turret. Rookie goes golden. And EDG, oh, you may have been the big fish in Nirvana. Welcome to the gods amongst descend. Invictus Gaming. Take them to task. Can you keep the Orianna up? Success or failure will determine this one. We'll let the Gyos go. Good God, they got the music wrong. Fortunately, we got Gyos to restore our eardrums.
敌军还有30秒到达战场，碾碎他。
你单薄的身体是这里唯一的香。
全军出击！
Doesn't look like I missed too much while I went to go pick up. My T. And Kennen and GP'd. Ah, the G2 conversation. Yeah. Yeah. True enough, that. I left you unsupervised. I mean, Mac was in chat. Angel Orianna, one of his most famous champions, back when he was on Suning in particular. Wonfong Jin, Angel Orianna, SOFM, style of me. On the Rengar, tank Rengar. And Amber, it's true. Let's be honest, how supervised do you feel even when Sam Innie is here? That's very true. I'm not responsible.
way. Looking for a bit of a follow-up there to get the ward down. Just Skull Crab's coming. Gets that ward. To get a hold of that. Ah, this is the replay. Ah, had a look to get onto Annie, huh? Didn't really find all that much. Good sidestep with the Molten Shield. Rookie is just fine. ZDZ, ow, eating some nasty trades early on here from the Shy. Angel nearly out of mana. Rookie is certainly not. Good timing there. Slam Protect times out, I think. Quite sure the shield tagged that or not. Mako getting a free pass to level 2 without much trading is a bit of a surprising. Yes, however, we have seen a lot of Alice to start with the headbutt. Just keep headbutting the AD carry away. Doing a decent job of that there. I think some Winter Spikes also went wide and dancing, but I didn't see too much of it. I'll note going the Hail of Blades. So gets a little bit of those auto attacks down, but it's still going to be going for that poke variety. Looking to stack up to max Blight stacks as quick as possible. Basically what this allows you to do is when you're getting dived, rapidly auto a few times in Q. That will see Rage Nash build in this draft. Yeah, agreed. Early Cull from Gala. Yes, Devour's gone towards that tier early. Wind Spike just goes wide. Nice step, Gala. Landing the Arc of Judgment, actually. Going to force a flash and a heal. Mako went looking for the headbutt. Heal back. Much better trade from IG. Good stuff from them. That Arc of Judgment. Scary. Rookie with the early level 6. Trades on to Angel. Well, Skinless Annie. Second Skull Crab going the way of Way. Shy. I just said the Shine didn't go anywhere further than that. Chow How is around. World Ender available. Now going to look at it. Wolf Slayer goes wide. The Shy's got the World Ender. Gets out of the ultimate. Very nice. Infernal Chain still to work with. Gets hit by the wind, becomes lightning, but just gets to slide away. Doesn't even need to blow his flash. Smooth stuff from the Shy, who plays it cool, calm, and collected. And ZDZ misses everything. Is also nearly out of mana here. So lacking a lot of trading tools. A lot happened so far in this game, outside of just good laning from IG. Weighs up a lot of CS right now. The Shy's got a call, Gala's got a call. Laning is just happening. Clubs being started by EDG. EDG are around here. Rookie with Tippers available. Gets the stun onto Palku. Misses the Glacial Fissure. Maybe look to come back in and fight this. The second grub would be nice. Decimated Smash, gonna be charged. Taken by Xiao. How do they want to play for the second? They won't have a smite available here. Wait, will. There's the shockwave, lands on a couple, doesn't lead to all that much more yet. Palkia now in danger, headbutted, pulverized, damage back onto Wei, who does get the cease and desist but goes down. As, of course, does ZDZ. Gala trading with Arn. They trade life for life. As Annie also trades into the zombie. Aatrox though rolling, trying to get to value, pulverized and effort back, gets the double knock up, but there is a pulverized back around as a shy with the Deathbringer stance. Gets another one. Angel now in danger. Needs to get a bit more value. Mako goes looking. And a flash force from Angel. 2 grubs to IG. Just about the team fight win. 4 for 3, I believe, in the end. Let's have a look again. It got dicey. How far? This is the shockwave on a couple. It's decent. And then it gets real scary. It's actually headbutt, flash, pulverized. Very clean from Mako. Wait, knows he's going down to get as much damage as he can with the cease and desist. Gar looks to try and get onto Arn. And needs an auto, but the arrow after ensures it to 1-for-1. The problem is, the Shy is just a hell of a lot scarier than anything on the enemy team right now, especially when Mako's there to add the CC required, so Xiaohao can't keep autoing for 3 Talon Strikes. And IG get away with 2 grubs, get away with the extra kill. And come out the better of that one. Shy in particular, pop the 2-0-1, Arc of Judgment lands, remember on, does have to flash there. Just came off cooldown. Transcending themselves. Was Gala. Hey Joe, good to see you. Teleporting him. The corruption doesn't have cleanse. I think Gala might be in danger here. Oh, the head of Arctus goes wide. Last auto! And the piercing arrow. Nicely done. Hiding in the bush. Had the chains of corruption. And Gala can't outplay it. Control ward value very high there. Want to go clear it out. Arm was having none of it. Nice pickup there. Necessary. So IG were beginning to get the better of this early game. Some key kills in some key locations. Dragon in 20 seconds, IG in the river. Arm won't have his ultimate for this. Nymaera will. How much of an issue is that going to be? I mean, we shout out on the other side of the map, realistically, they're not fighting for it anyway. Angel, reminder has no flash. Oh boy, this Orianna could be having not a lot of fun here. Mako got the ult, uses it early, cease and desist. Not going to make a massive amount of difference with the shockwave. And the kill easily granted. Mako with the heal, just about okay. But EDG now coming on down. Winter's Spy, oh my god. Nearly catches out Mako, who's likely going to get traded here. Will do his best to buy time. Into the mid lane comes ZDZ. The Shy's going to get a lot of time here, but another plate goes the way of Gala. And the Shy's just going to get donated a lot of plates here. No teleport for ZDZ or Angel. The Dragon might go the way EDG here. They burned a lot. And Wei's on a decent flank. In comes the Shy with the TP. Just went back to base. Chains of Corruption goes wide. Arn, remember, no teleport. We'll use the Ghost Bait to buy some time. The Shy looking for the Dark in play. Trying to buy some time in Xiaohao with the Crescent Guard. I don't think that's enough. The Arc of Ruin forces the cleanse. Palkia dead. As is Arn. A double to Gala, who uses that flash so aggressively.
Gets himself both bot lane members. That'll be more plates. The TP, I don't know about this one. Angel, are you sure? Actually, it's the Scion. I take it back. Maybe a little bit safer than that Orianna, who didn't have the TP. I do apologize. Even said that before we got into the play. But hey, short-term memory things. Dragon also picked up by IG. Mark towards feet strength secured. 2,000 or so gold in the lead. First turret will secure the upgraded boots. And here's that TP, and EDG try to punish Rookie. And Rookie sees them, backs away. They miss everything. And then they realize they are up a creek in the spot lane river with no paddle. And the Shy, even through the exhaust, gets enough CC on, just can't move fast enough. That last auto is all Gala needs to finish up when his top laner started. The Shy nearly cashed in that cult. Same with Gala, actually. And certainly that gold lead will spike by another 1,000 or so. Maybe more like 800. I forget exactly how much Cull gives you on the cash-in. A few hundred. Bot side turret under siege briefly. Not really to any significant avail. Wei coming over to contest this one. EDG are on it first, but IG with the collapse. Gala looking to find a way through that mid bush. Can't. Rookie on the flank, spotted. Shockwave is wide! Oh dear, doesn't matter. Rookie's still dead, but now Palkia trying to buy space on the other side. His damage goes down onto Wei, who does get ignited. Trying to find a way over the wall with the Vault Breaker and does so. Palkia now in danger though, because Gala has transcended himself. Heal required. Herald secured. Rookie on that flank angle, got jumped on. Just about brought low before IG could get involved. ZDZ now in danger. Maybe forced to ult out here. Gets pulled back actually on the wrong side of the Shy. Soul Furnace shield will be enough to keep him alive and won't be forced to burn a flash or an ultimate. Into the enemy jungle we go though. EDG having their red buff forward order. Wait, here with Mako. Secured by IG. Shy gonna get this turret bot side, and that will be first turret of the game. And feats of strength going the way of Invictus Gaming on in danger. Oh my days. That's a Hail of Arrows back, but has like no mana. It's gonna be forced to reset. I think that might mean a mid lane turret going against EDG. Xiao Hao around is enough to keep that turret safe. Hang on. Rocket Belt into turnaround though from Angel, who forces his own flash off Rookie. Was think he was going to have a bit more damage there and didn't. Xin Tao's coming. Rookie got his shield, gets another stun. Oh, an Angel flash for that. He's getting timid. Oh, he's turned back into 1-for-1. Mid lane, we're looking again. Hang on, you know it's just picked up on. Gala now in danger, flashes away. Does not quite get hit until ZDZ flash forward for the Soul Furnace. Proc, but the Shy is now here. Palkia in danger. Gets pulled back. No, just out of range of the Infernal Chains, but now ZDZ in danger. Does have the ult. Will use it to get away. It's a mess. What is that, 2 for 2? Both mids, both AD carries traded. The problem is, the health bars are a lot lower. Interrupt on Palkia. Throws up the door. Just about survives. And that mid lane turret will still fall. Palkia burns the flash. Herald charge top side. The turret goes down in top side as well, courtesy of that Herald use. 35 seconds on Dragon. We come back to live again, and no flashes for EDG. I'll have a look mid lane here. Ah, Mako just jumped on Arn, right? Yes. Pepper. Cease and desist.
Still got the pulverize, tries to burn all the things, doesn't keep him alive. Gala then in danger, has to try and flash away from the wind spike. Flash from ZDZ secures it. Every summoner under the planet used here, it feels like. Who's got flash? Mako and the Shy. Those are the 2 people with flash. Those are actually quite scary people with flashes. EDG have none. None at all. They're on the dragon first, but they have to be so wary. On an Angel in particular at serious risk here. Darking Blade Part 1. Firing on through. Down to 8,000 HP. 20% of the dragon's HP bar gone. Turret secured by minions. Overcome IG from the wrong side of the map. Rookie looking. Has got a blast code. Let's charge up the stun. Mako gets hit. Can still turn around though. Makes it well unbreakable. And there's Rookie and the Shy. The world is ending for Edward Gaming. The shockwave is good. The knockup is better. Maybe they can turn it around, but the problem is all the damage is being run down. All of the combos in the world mean nothing if there is no follow-up. And EDG get annihilated in the river. Aced, but none. Exceptional. Exceptional. We said, look, there is no flash on anyone but the Shy and Mako. Guess who just used the flash? The Shy and Mako. Rookie on a great flank angle. They know he's around because they're trying to ward it off. But Mako with the flash headbutt pulverize. The Shy to follow. As Rookie sets it up with a stun. Arn is dead before he can do damn well anything. This combo is fantastic. If Arn is alive, if Angel gets to do anything, the Shy flashing in means the Orianna is run down in the 1v2. And there is just not enough in the tank to secure anything off. However many people were knocked up there. The bouncy castle was cool, but for IG, it was just a time at the fair. For EDG, it was a drop into a 6-foot hole. And IG makes sure to shovel over the dirt. That shallow grave. 4 minutes till Soul for IG, who are now at Soul Point. Up. Near enough, 7,000 gold. Atakan, a possibility. IG certainly clearing out the vision here and daring EDG to come back and fight it. I will note now, though, that the flash discrepancy will be going back in EDG's favor. Shy and Mako will be down theirs, while the rest of the game's flashes are largely coming up now. Here's the Shy and Mako just getting shouted out there. Yeah, there you go. Good game from both of them so far. Atakan being warded out this time by EDG. Just aware that IQ around. Mako stood on vision. Rookie is not. Is now. As the ward goes down. Shove up through mid. Gala could theoretically join. Atakan is started by Edward Gaming. EDG feeling the need to flip. Gala was on mid tier 1. Angel to the side, down to 10,000 HP. Mako's around. He's not switched over to something like a smite. Wave also here. The Shy up the top lane. Rookie gets a stun. The headbutt pulverize onto ZDZ. Way is around. Gala now around. Made that rotation. IG bought enough time. EDG now caught between IG. As the wave being cleared by the Shy. Back to Atakan. Still aggroed. Still at 7,000 HP. Mako on vision. EDG really want this, and I don't know about it. CDC slowed by the Arc of Judgment, turning into an Arc of Ruin as the Transcending happens, and the Scion is being mashed by Gala. The Shy on the backside gets on top of Angel. ZDZ survives for a second, his redemption comes on down, but the Shy on a 1v4 season is in the backside. On the shockwave again means so very little. Finally, wave falls, but I don't know about the rest of the players. The zombie tries to do some work. Xiaohao audaciously charges, but is to his own death. Top jungle dead. Wei also down. IG with the man advantage turned back onto Atakan, and EDG don't want to risk the contest, smite or no. Atakan is Invictus Gaming's. Or maybe not. They do cancel the resets. Arn on 20%. HP is coming up. They're TPing in. Gala, I don't know about this. You need to back off that. Still aggro, still here. IG TP back in. There's Rookie with full HP. There's Mako with full HP. TP back again. This one from Angel. TP from the Shy. ZDZ looks to get stunned up by the Incinerate. Knocked around. Infernal Chain pulled back down half HP. Gala transcending himself again. Dodges the Winter Spike. Has a shield. The shot on a flank angle. Redemption coming on down. He's a bit deep. Can Umbral dash over the wall and does so. There has been non-stop action at Atakan. It's been the elephant's graveyard of the LPL. Everyone comes here to die. It started again. Third start of the Atakan. IG looking around to Angel. Disintegrate of the one Rookie though. Low. Crescent Gun. Shockwave. Gets Rookie. Mako just about to rise with everyone around the Shine. The backside of the one. Just about knocked up by the decimated back start to begins to free fire back on the Shine. He's getting some healing. Here comes the season descended on. Falls. Punched in the face. It's a haymaker from Way. KO! Ding, ding, ding! Gala still trading as ZDZ is a zombie. Unfortunately for him. Cranberry say what's in his head? Well, it was brains. And they've just been smashed onto the floor. Palkia falls again and again. IG come out with more. Angel survives. The one person who's supposed to be in the afterlife is somehow still on the mortal plane. Irony, perhaps. It's been so damn long that Soul has spawned. Rookie looked for Angel, got punished by ZDC. At the beginning, it looked scary. Mako just about surviving because of the redemption. And the Shy in a 1v4. By so much time, Gala doing his best to get as much work done as he can. Triumphant Raw heal was so huge. Glacial Fissure stopped Gala autoing for a second or two. Finally bring down Mako. ZDZ Zombie was a bit of a nightmare. Soul secured by IG in that replay. Guess where we are, folks? Oh yes, Atakan. Buckle in, folks. We go for a fourth start on Atakan. And this time EDG have had enough of it. They're giving it up. Soul and Atakan for IG, who fought tooth and nail for it. It's theirs for the taking. Baron possibly now next on the menu. Way. Potentially back away here. Vault breaker away from the Whimper comes Lightning. Sion gets a turret in the bot side. They get a turret in mid as well. Getting bounties where they can. That probably has to be a way back in. Can you get that critical shutdown on the Shy? Someone like Angel. Someone like Arn. Just get that extra bit of gold to get them to a third item, a half item after that, even if you can manage it. Because you are looking at a Death Dance on this Aatrox. You are looking at an Infinity Edge and now a Vamp Scepter for Gala. Those are some miserable numbers to be dealing with. Gala and the Shy are so strong. And killing them has been the work of ages. Gala's died a few times, but he has not traded his life particularly easily. Went 1-for-1 with Arn a couple times. Once by that Grubs fight, and then the second time Arn caught him with a Chains of Corruption. That was just the 1-for-0 kill from Arn. But outside of that, in most team fights, Gala been something of an eel. The Shy sees Arn and says, I am a lot faster than you. And the long arm and the fist attached to it of the law slams into Varus. Puts him in a cell for 35 seconds. Wearing black and white. Those prisoner's garments aren't coming off for a little bit yet. In mate. Will allow Baron to go down as EDG face down, Soul, Atakan, and now Baron. And the scrappy fights, the close fights, have once again in the mid-game broken in Invictus Gaming's favor. They are just so stylish in those moments, so confident, composed in those knife fight 50-50 scenarios. They just trust themselves to be clutch, and on the whole, they damn well have been. Players like Shy, who have been doing it for you. 5-0 test, trying to TP out into an Aatrox CDZ. Oh, not like that. Flashes away now. Where are you running, my brother? Where are you going? Knuckles would like a word. Speaking of, There they are in the form of a bite. 6, 2, and 7. 2.5 minutes until Elder. ZDZ gets the turret, trades his life for it, and the flash, and the teleport. I don't think you need to try and teleport out there. That was a bit bold into an Aatrox. We've got a lot of cooldown reduction at this point. Towards the turret we look. Member down. No front line. An inhibitor crumbles the massed firepower Invictus Gaming. EDG must find a way to weather the storm. 2 inhibitors would feel pretty damn dangerous. Can you get to an Elder flip? Will you be allowed to get there? There was a way back in, that might be it. Into a shutdown or two. Alas, I fear for EDG, they'll not be allowed to. The Shy went flashing for Darkin Blade, and the Ghost took just enough to keep Arn out of range. EDG goes looking, backside goes Xiao Hao, but Garda flashes away, gets a double big shield. Turning around, the Crescent Guard is buying time for Xiao Hao, but that's all it is, time, and it runs short. The Sams are empty in this hourglass, and this ain't Prince of Persia. It's League of Legends, and Invictus Gaming have been playing it to the best of their abilities all split long. EDG, the best of Nirvana, meet the most ridiculous of Ascend. A smell.
欢迎来到英雄联盟。敌军还有30秒到达战场，碾碎他们。
EDG with some solid gyos, but no one really matches the volume and number of IG fans right now in the LPL. Had a Morgana jungle earlier today. H1 piloting that one well.
全军出击！
EDG, interestingly, actually favored in the mid game, which I wasn't expecting with the rise in the Senate statistically there. But again, you have got the Nautilus and the Renekton. Silas, when he snowballs, often does through that point in the game. IG favored a bit later, but then again, I can sort of see it in the sense of the TF, the Jace, just so much damage. May just end up outscaling a little bit there because the range from EDG is, with the exception of the Senate, quite short, and you will have to play into the feathers. The Jace, wait. We'll find Xiao Hao here. Level 2 again, clears real fast. All the while fighting to get into the lane. Gala ends up chunked. No one's blown any summons except from Palkia. Maker will now trade as well to ensure they get towards that wave a bit earlier. Wei pulling on over. Lands onto this. Does have Smite. Xiao Hao really wants it, but I don't know whether he wins. It's level 2. V level 1, and he's taken aggro. So much damage coming on down. Does get that level 2 now, but the Conqueror stacked from Wei a lot earlier. Xiao gets out, having nabbed a camp. Lost a lot of HP to do it. A lot of HP to do it. Wei's going to start it up. Sees that Silas isn't coming in. Single camp steal. Not necessarily what Xiao Hao was looking for, but hey. Let's get to go back to his own camp. He's going to be a little low getting through his own jungle now. And I think Zed, probably what they will do. Just again, they clear real fast. Will be look to get onto his Raptors. Red, Krugs, reset, come back bot side. We'll go for the Scuttle Crab down there. With at least a longsword. See whether he wants to invade onto Xiao Hao here. It's a possibility. Wait, got that extra camp to his name right now, whereas Xiao Hao very much does not. Doesn't necessarily know where Xiao Hao is, and again, Xiao's basically got wrapped into his own topside jungle because it was a real world where the Zed comes and invades him. Real world. Doesn't happen. Wei kind of aware of Xiao Hao's potential shenanigans as well, so he's kind of gone Raptors to Krugs and then both to the red. Does have that ward down here. Scuttle Crab already up because of all the skirmishing, so the Sylas should get a hold of that one, and the Zed's not going to be able to contest. In the end, you know, not awful from this Zed. From the Sylas, rather. Mid lane, Rookie, low. Angel getting a good trade there with the overloads and the Rune Prison. Is there ever any justification for running Conquer over Lethal Tempo for Xayah? Yes, when you need the sustain. Is the honest answer. If you want the healing, Conquer It is still really, really, really good value. And I think this game, when you've got a lot of bruises coming at you, being able to potentially survive a Sylas or a Renekton jumping on top of your head can be really, really valuable. Lethal Tempo is still excellent, don't get me wrong, but especially if you're not going to get to a Vamp Scepter until a bit later, Conquer It gives you some healing still. Well, here comes bot side. Can look to spot out what's going on. We'll see the red buff there. Oh, Xiaohao does not get to back. This might well be. Have to steal on this one. Wait, gonna hold on to a smite. Normally you smite early as the Zed because you get your passive rolling. The smite does get it. Wei can get over the wall here if required. Doesn't have the shadow to necessarily fear. Flash away from that. Can look the shadow over. Does do so. Flash from Wei. But over comes Mako! Oh, beautiful! Healing is good, but not enough with the Kingslayer. And Mako is there to save the day. Good play for both supports. But Mako's just a little bit better. Topside ZDZ eating a lot of damage from the Shy. Youch. We'll be able to TP back. The Shy will get this wave crashed in. Will he look for a play? He is going to look for a play. He'll only get the single auto and said, yeah, okay, TPing back in straight away. Fine. Happy enough for a first reset. Mako is actually probably dead here. We'll build a grand entrance. Battle dance. Out to safety. Fine. Actually, now Arm's on, like, no mana, by the way. We'll need to reset shortly. Mako's still sticking around. That's enough healing to potentially threaten Palkia. No flash, but does have a heal. Both supports have heal, for that matter. The mana discrepancy ends up being the difference maker there. For all that the damage did go down onto Mako. He's got enough to help get this wave shoved. Here we go again. Back to this replay. Wei wins the smite fight. Good chunk here. Then flash from Wei because he's never going to be able to get close enough there to get the shadow over. Flash for the auto is good to get the staggering blows. Wave follows, try and get the kill. And Mako, flash grand entrance. It's superb. Really, really nicely done. Gets a gold card. Actually onto Angel, who did not enjoy that grand entrance. Forces the heal. Turnaround damage with the shurikens is good. Mako will give it a damage. There's a heal after. Flash for the gold card on top of Xiaohao. Won't really lead to all that much. Can't quite get the follow-up. A little bit overeager there from Rookie. There's a Ruby Crystal and Null Magic Mantle in inventory. Maybe if Zed had ult, you could have done that. It was a little bit far, have to admit. Rookie probably didn't need to blow that summoner. Though I appreciate the intent. Mindset is good there. Oh, good sidestep, but hang on. Speaking of mindset, stun lands onto Palkia. Can't get too much more than the heal. They're fast enough to retreat. But again, it will be resets. Xiaohao around meant that they weren't really going to be able to get too much more there. This will be level 6 on this wave for Gala. And for Mako, for that matter. Again, dodging the last embrace. Again, IG, at least in the early stages, very good laning. Up a lot of CS in key locations, slight gold leads wherever you care to look. The Zed, notoriously a fast clearer, is, well, you guessed it, clearing really fast. Grub started by EDG, but IG are going to come over and contest. Watch the Shy here, flashing on in for a thundering smash. Can't find the interrupt, and they'll realm warp out. So that means Grub will be going the way of IG. Wow, that was aggro.
Do you think the Shy will ever use T1 Jace? I think that one might sting a little, so probably not. You just missed the I saw that, Shy. We're looking for ZDZ to step on forwards here. It's got steel caps and a lot of damage. Knocked into the wall. Grand entrance available, as is the quickness. There's that grand entrance. Won't find too much more of the dice back. ZDZ left it halfway around. So we Xiao Hao. Reset from Powder Gear. This is going to spot that one. Flash! Oh, way! Who needs an ult? When you can just murder him with a shuriken to the face. Xiao Hao got to do nothing there. Dominus now on top of the Shy. Remember, did burn the flash, so need to be a little bit wary. But he's going to be fine for now. Mako now coming on up. Does have Gleaming Quill. Mako and Wei here, turning around. Remember, there's still a Death Mark available. Dawning Shadow comes on forward. Palkia, I think, is in quite a lot of danger here. As actually, I fear, is going to be Wei. Good combo. As Angel TP's in, Mako gets hooked up. Didn't respect the TP. And Wei did not get to press the R button. An EDG strike back. 2 kills for them now. 1 for the Renekton, 1 for the Rise. Where's Rookie? Bot side, I guess. Didn't want to match the Shy, but no mana. I don't actually know what he can do here. So we have to give this wave up, get some range for the XP. Just out of range of the Overload. Really great plays from IG, and then they are swiftly turned around there. Got a little bit greedy, not respecting Palkia. This is just very good from Wei. Watch this. Down at half HP. Flash. Shadow. Q. And then this one looked like it was playable. But they turn on to Wei and they go, okay, this looks pretty good. Half HP. We still do this. But they don't know the TP's coming. And then Wei does not get to press R. Staggering blows into Flash. Empowered W from ZDZ. That's a solid 2 seconds of CC. Flash the hook. Good play for Palkia. Help set up another. Did EDG pick Stylus after Z? Yes, they did. I'm pretty sure. The last pick was the Jace. For a bit of damage there. Can't find everything as Arn throws down the Curse of the Black Mist, and the last Embrace will drag Wei's health bar down a little bit. Not on the best soul count here, actually. I need about 30 or so. Still, it does tend to scale up as Senna gets going. Still not the 113 we saw from Leave get the other day, which was unbelievable. Other day, probably other month at this point. Good chunk. ZDZ gets a bit of healing. Palkia is coming. The Shy gets hit. Needs to be a bit aware of Thundering Blow back onto ZDZ. Gets knocked up, but over comes Mako looking to bundle. That's it! Does get the knock up! Oh, it's beautiful. Where's Mako with another wonderful save? Body blocking Vestic out of ZDZ slides on through. Dawning Shadow's there. Dice out, but in comes the Death Mark. Needs another auto or two. Should have it. And Wei makes it a 2 for 1. Dawning Shadow blown as well. And Gala's here in the bot lane with a couple grubs to ensure that plates will be going the way of the Xayah potentially, as I suspect is this dragon. Kill secured for IG first, so they get towards that feat of warfare, towards the full feats of strength. They've gotten the first set of objectives with the grubs. We'll start up a dragon here to claim the seconds. Palkia will spell out Mako, TP behind. They've done this a lot. Mako's got flash, got cleanse, got ult. ZDZ may need to look for something here. There's the Featherstorm. Not the best ever. Gala may need to flash, may need to cleanse. In comes Rookie, flashing for more. There's that TP in from Rookie. Damage good onto ZDZ, who gets a lot of healing. Will not get Gala. Valiant effort, not enough. Rookie doing a fair amount of work at the front of the Xiao Hao to rocket belt out of the grand entrance. Hook back onto Wei. Gold card down. First assist for Rookie of the game. Arms roam down now. A bit faster with that Curse of the Black Mist. They'll hold onto the turret at least. Scarlet gets to reset. Got himself another Cull in inventory, by the way. He's got a Cull every game so far. Hasn't felt threatened in lane by Arn at all. And the Shy, it looked like he was done for. But the knock away on ZDZ bought enough time as Mako with the heal, battle dance, quickness, grand entrance. Excellent stuff.
Xiaohao tries to get the hijacked Jace Q to get the kill, but again, it's body blocked well. Wei comes in, finishes off ZDZ. Deathmark does its work. Three kills now for Wei, who's 1,300 gold ahead. Mako is going to be fine. Sees the ward is there, but it's well defended by Arn, who has been playing a fairly good center game in terms of not being at too much threat, getting some good Dawning Shadows off as a kind of orbital strike from the mid lane. It's got the static shiv now, so wave clear a little bit easier for them. The Shy gets jumped on. Stride Breaker comes on down, will slow the Shy down. Still going to have a Thundering below away. Uses it. Redemption keeps him back towards health. EDG actually now eating a pretty ugly trade. Does have the dominance, would rather not use it here. What amounts to standard trading. There's the Dominus. Palkia going to be body blocked off, but I think the Shy is largely okay with this. There's the Dawning Shadow. In comes the Death Mark, and they blow up ZDZ. Dominus is a little bit ugly there. Angel's TP'd in, but so is Rookie. Look for something more. He's got himself a gold card. Still waiting on that one. Realm Warp coming. They'll know it's here. Death Charge comes on through, as Rookie may well need to flash here. Yet to burn it. Still going to go down. Holds on for as long as he can. Finally flashed out. Grand entrance to Mako. Stolen. Hijacked Destiny Gates. Can't find where they're looking as he goes back towards blue buff. Decides to go back towards farming, and no one dies aside from ZDZ. Nice idea from EDG. You see the thought process. A lot of success from Angel teleporting for lanes. Doesn't this time. Way here with Mako. Reminder, Way still has... So he still has that death mark. Doesn't. Has got an Eclipse and a Phage. There's quite a lot of work here. Palkia needs to be a bit wary, but Arn now coming on. Mako will be able to battle dance out to safety. As Way provides a target to escape. Herald's here. Arn and Palkia are as well. Jace roaming over. Destiny Gate from Rookie to spot out exactly where people are. Gets him towards this top lane. Gala now in danger. Does have Feather Storm. Will be forced to use it as a Stride Breaker. Flash for the hook. Buying time. Gala exhausted. Because Featherfall doesn't get the opportunity. Exhaust is enough to ensure that kill onto Gala. Turret taken by IG bot side though. At least ensure they get the feats of strength. Mid lane turret under siege now by EDG. Should be able to pick this one up. Trying to use the shadow to clear out the wave and get a bit of poke. Will not be able to do so. So the mid lane turret has responded too well for EDG. Problem is they are still down. 3,500 gold. Mostly in the jungle and mid. Actually, bot side as well with the Carls crashing in. Arn now in danger. Way gets hooked, but in goes Mako looking for the quickness. Can't quite find it. It's Arn switching up with the flash to get out the dangerous Way. Backing away, getting the quickness on down is Xiaohao. Lots of damage from him as the Shy is deep. Looking to get on top of Xiaohao. Can't quite get the kills. There's so much healing, and they've just blown up two members. CDZ sliding on forward. Will have the slice. Has got the Stride Breaker. Good healing. Conqueror damage is good as Way needs to go over the wall. Flash on over from ZDZ. Flash away from Way. They'll get out to safety. Two more kills for EDG, evening up the kill score. Good for Xiaohao to get involved there. Was falling behind in the jungle very significantly. A little bit far there from Wei. Couldn't really threaten Arn. They end up just going a bit too deep. IG give up a significant portion of their lead. We'll have a look again. They try to jump on Arn here. And Palkia is off vision around the corner. Flash away means that Arn with that Curse of the Black Mist is fast enough with the flash on top of it to get out to safety. Way leaves and Palkia gets to jump on forwards. Xiaohao's there with the hijack quickness and the Shy goes, well, I'm not getting out. Can I get some damage back?
gets value topside. So there is that. Get one reverse sweep today. So Gala got a lot of free time on that tier 1 because they went running after Wei in the jungle. Then Mako goes, cool, right, I'm going to threaten ZDZ so you have to backstep down, get the top on, and then Battle Dances out, and they try to turn onto ZDZ, but Wei gets hit, and I think he just needs to keep on ZDZ. How does he go back in? Right, yeah, just gets dragged back too far. They gets hit by the Battle Herald, and the Battle Herald is excellent. Another knockup, drives around a bit more. Oh, excellent driving skills. Center at 2 items now. 64 stacks is fine at 20 minutes. Not fantastic, but fine. Hijack quickness. Xiaohao back in this game now. Was a long way out of it, but evened up in the CS. It's a heading gold. 9 stacks on the Dark Seal. Much, much, much more threatening than he was at danger of being 5-10 minutes ago. Gold lead, only 1,000 now. Atakan started. Xiaohao with that hijack quickness again. Keep your eyes on it. Watch EDG on the flank as well with the strike breaker. Wei struggled in these team fights the last few times. Has been picked up by Palkia and ZDZ pretty consistently. Damage coming back on down. Atakan being started, but Gala eats so much damage! Just about surviving. Featherstorm is good. They've blown up the jungler. Oh, they couldn't get a hold of him. Gala buys time. They lose the shy. Oh, his back is good. Gold card flashed away. Wei flashes in. Brings down Rise. Needs to find his way back out. Gets the Conqueror stack though. Huge damage. Another kill. Onto Palkia. Wei gets out. Gets the death bomb. Back around again. He just dipped through all the shadows. Gold card. It should be a red one. Out for the game. Ace for Invictus Gaming and Atakan. 3 games in a row. How do they keep on doing it? How do they keep on doing it? They thought they had Gala. He was so damn low. And Xiaohao does not survive. And with him down, the Atakan becomes dicey. You see it here. They get the root to Palkia, and then they turn around. They get the knock up on Gala. They think they have it. But just before it lands, Gala goes up in the air, and Mako, with an exceptional quickness, means when Xiaohao goes in, he's immediately charmed. Jace goes down, thinking it's a bit ugly, but then Wei gets to flash Shadow to follow up the gold card, and then starts dancing through the fight. Deathmark, switch to another Shadow. Rookie continuing to throw gold card after gold card arm flashes, but not before that card is flying. You can run, but you can't hide from the referee, JD. As ever, one of the most entertaining coaches to watch in esports. The reactions are phenomenal. Invictus Gaming with agency, with target access, are such sublime team fighters. You need CC when you can just dance your way through them all. Rookie. Slightly in danger there as Wei hit by that last embrace. Dragon spawning in 10 seconds if you saw point for IG. They're now back up, 4,000 gold. Good battle dance away from Mako. Wei on a flank angle. Xiaohao's been chunked out somewhere along the way. Dragon started. EDG on vision, courtesy of the Destiny Gate. Angel trying to ward off one. ZDZ, a known flanker now. Exhaust comes on down. Dragon secured. Wei looking for potentially something. Gala hit by the depth charge. Now flashed on. Goes up into the sky. A wonderful cleanse. ZDZ. It's just ZZZ. Throw down to sleep. There is no Zenless. There's no zone. There is sure as hell no zeros, but the health bars. They lose another 2 though. It's actually good turnaround from the Silas and from the Rise. Wei in danger. Gets a good double rash, but they just can't survive. 3 dead. And wait. IG lose 4. Baron's in 40 seconds. I thought ZDZ has gone too deep, but I think IG did too. And they survive. This time the Zhonya's gets broken. Can they run at Baron? The death time is long enough. No, I don't think they are. I'll have a look again. Because it starts with Gala getting jumped on, and it's a bait. It's all a bait. Has the cleanse, is so ready for it. Doesn't ult. That depth charge gets to turn around. You think this looks great. Xiaohao's also solo, but he survives for so damn long. Kingslayer value, Conqueror value. The hook onto Jace.
There you go. That's what turns it around. Xiao gets to go golden, get more healing. Wei looks to finish off a load of people. He's caught in the middle of 4. Can't quite get enough damage onto Arn, who's in that curse of the Black Mist. Needs to get inside it to get damage and can't. The Realm Warp after gets a hold of Rookie. Really clutch from Xiaohao, who was very bloody lucky to survive there. Back to 9 stacks on the Dark Seal. It looked a bit over there. Only 1,000 gold ahead of IG, but still on Soul Point. Hook onto Mako, but can still look to get out here with the Battle Dance. Will be fine. IG, don't get me wrong, are in the lead. Got a really good position in this game in terms of objectives. Atakan, giving them a lot of value. Soul Point is giving them a lot of value. Map control is there. But EDG are fighting back. They've got 3 items on Senna, who's now on 89 souls. 100 breakpoint is very close indeed when her range starts to become orbital cannon-wise. CDZ under danger. Rookie just gold-carded a turret. Target champions only is a toggle, my friend. CDZ just about survives. Dawning Shadow burned as well alongside the Dominus. Xiaohao actually might look at Mako here. He's got a quickness hijack, won't use it. Yeah, the solo laners from Invictus Gaming being collapsed on here. I think they need to TP out. He's out. Okay, double TP away. But now they're actually towards this Baron. Can they start it up? Everyone's just gone over there. Oh, EDG. It was all a ruse. Double TP out. They're TPing back in themselves. Here we go. Rookie a little low, but not low enough as yet. Angel speeding his way forwards. Redemption comes on down, spots it out way. Shadowed over the wall, can look to get back out. Baron will start to reset, but now EDG in the pit. They want to take the opportunity. Way's got himself a blast. He can get back in. Palkia, flash go forward. Step charges off a Rookie. Flash from Angel. Room pressure. With a blow to Palkia. Don't know EDG. Got them all. A Scarlet begins to unleash. Shock blast on the back end. Feather Storm. Flash over for Gala. Birds of a feather. Get melted by Gala. Together. A triple kill for him. They aced them, but for on. And Baron is IG's. And the double teleport out into the Baron bait. And IG push and pull and push and tear EDG apart at the seams. This is after the reset. Where EDG take the opportunity on the leash. The hook lands onto the Rakan, not the most valuable target. Quickness comes on down, and they blast a couple. The Rune Prison looked like it was going to kill off Rookie, but Mako again with some exceptional saving plays. Gala, great flash to re-angle the feather. Xiaohao goes golden, but again, what do you do here? The damage is so extreme. Arn in danger, death mark. And Arn, he's just a bounty, isn't he? That assassin finds their mark. Three and a half items for Gala. 3 items for Rookie. Invictus Gaming marching the minions down mid lane. Baron empowered. 20 seconds still on Arn. That's your Senna. With 96 stacks, you need her. Unfortunately, they don't have her. Tier 2 falls on top side. Another wave comes in. Inhibitor mid lane down. Invictus Gaming have just been so clutch in the team fights that matter. EDG have fought valiantly. They really have. I wonder how deep a run through a lower bracket they will make. It will have to be that last gasp effort. Xiaohao with the hijack quickness, but he can only hit a few low-end gears. Scarlet goes up with the Feather Storm, and ZDZ is a hand back once more. Rookie flashing for the goal. Got point range on. Stunned. Lichbane prot. QSS. Damage onto Arn is good. Flash on the shine for the skies. Turning around, but he's actually pretty tanky. The point blows up Palkia. Dawning Shadow, not required, but Piercing Darts at least gets one back. With a little bit of agency from Angel. Realm Warp forward, won't quite buy much to the Nexus turret's full. Another set of Shurikens come flying with the Sloping Shadows comes on down into the backlines of Arn. And a shock blast blasts the head off one. Angel clears up 2. But Invictus Gaming, not denied.